443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit inatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 70s north, mid 80s south. Chance of showers and scattered storms tonight, overnight low upper 60s. And then a 50-50 chance of showers and storms on Thursday, a high just over 80 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Kopp CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Kopp CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 87 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that could respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
That ain't but one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning. Already starting to get a little good news about this Super Regional coming up. Looks like the rain may be gone by the time first pitch rolls around on Saturday at 4 o'clock. Yeah, that's why, all of us that work in baseball specifically, and maybe football too, because these are sports that are affected by the weather, we'll start checking the weather apps 2 weeks ahead of time. It's always going to freak you out. Now as it starts to come into shape, it looks like we may actually be all right for the Super Regional. And a good thing that they scheduled it for Saturday start instead of Friday. Great to be with you today. Good morning. Phil Elson, my partner Matt Jones, Christian Johnston in the producer's chair. Going to be a good show today. Grant Hall, 15 minutes. No Clay Henry. He's on one of his summertime adventures. Well, I think we get Clay again next week. I think he's in Colorado right now. Who knows what it is? He's either hunting or fishing. It's one of those two things. Goes along with the hiking as well.
Do you hunt or fish anymore, Phil?
I've never hunted a day in my life. I love to fish. It's just I haven't had the chance to do it in a while. Once the baseball season ends, I guarantee we'll get it. My son and I have been making trips to Gaston's each of the last 2 summers. You and I have been out there too. So we'll do it.
One of my favorite Woody Allen movies. He's like, the only thing I hunt for is bargains.
Maybe a few other things as well that we might hunt for depending on the time of night, right? Nope, never been hunting a day in my life. I think I'd try duck hunting if I got the right invite and I bought the right waders. I was always I've been warned by Clay, make sure you get the right waders for the time of the year. Otherwise, you're probably not going to enjoy yourself very much. Yeah, so that's the first good news about this Super coming up. I'm feeling, thank you, Jesse. Everybody's knows I wasn't on the show for the last hour yesterday. Man, all this driving, I spend so much time in the car, and I don't take the advice that Matt Jones gives me on a routine basis about waking up.
Probably smart, though. Nobody should listen to me.
Well, there's some aspects of the advice you can give that can be very wise. I think in terms of taking care of your body and taking care of your muscles, I think you know what you're doing. He's been telling me for 30 minutes after you wake up every day, you got to stretch that back out, take your time, don't rush it. And, of course, I just never do that. Never do that. I've way too much time in the car, so I guess I've been folded over a little bit. And then it happened yesterday morning. The thing just gave out on me. And I appreciate you and Christian and the callers. And also, I guess you had Bill King on for the third hour yesterday. Yeah, it's doing all right. Got my first ever steroid shot in the butt yesterday. And I'll tell you what, that thing works. I can still feel the strain. I can still feel the back strain, but it doesn't hurt anymore. So that's nice. If we could only find a way to figure out a way where we could get steroid shots emotionally, right? For heartbreak, for
that was called ice cream and alcohol. Yeah, not necessarily together, but yeah.
Only works for a certain amount of time. I guess it's the same with the steroid shots too. I think the ice cream and the alcohol works for maybe an hour or two. The steroid shot hopefully works for a week, and then I'll have to figure it all out by then. You're exactly right about that. All right. Well, starting to get in a little bit on this Arkansas-Tennessee super regional, as we should, of course. And there's just these are probably the two most talented teams that are left in the tournament. I think Auburn's got a lot of talent. I really like Ike Irish. That guy's going to be a big league hitter at some point soon. LSU may have the two best starting pitchers in terms of a tandem in the entire tournament. North Carolina's got a couple of guys that are really fun to watch. But these overall are the two most talented, and I don't know if I'd say most complete teams. I think Arkansas is. Tennessee, a little issue in terms of in the field and sometimes the depth of their relief pitching. But hey, if you make it through, 4 games of a regional, you're pretty deep. You're pretty deep. It's just that they go about their business in much different ways just to get to the same spot. And think about the word culture with sports, and sometimes it can be a little overused and overdone. Matt, when you got to Arkansas and played for Coach Nutt, did it feel that there was a culture in place at that point? I think that was Coach's third season, which would have been your first at Arkansas, and had success those first couple of years. And I just wonder what it's like when you step into a program that's still, it's not a new head coach, but 3 years is not a really long track record. And I wonder if there was something that you felt was a culture that was built into the team when you got there. Or, what did it feel like during the 4 years that you played there?
Yeah, Coach had a very, just from the jump, and everything's based on relationships, I think, in college sports on why you would go somewhere. And the thing is, we had some really good seniors. You think about Carlos Hall. You think of some of the upperclassmen and a Ken Hamlin, guys that were Jermaine Petty, guys that did things the right way. And me being a coach's kid, I think maybe I kind of understood it a little bit more about how you're supposed to act. And that's what you look at the leaders, you look at the guys, they're not that hard to figure out and who's doing it right. And you just fall in line. You fall in line with, and so that's why I think it's so hard in this transfer portal window. Guys come in 6 months. It's a microwave culture now. You're not there for 4 or 5 years, and some kids are, but it doesn't seem that way. And so it's like you look at the basketball team and Coach Cal. I think they're going to be better this year because you have guys coming back. You have guys knowing what to expect. It was the first year for everybody last year on this basketball team, and it helps when you have somebody that's been there that's doing it right, and we can point to. And it also helps when your best player is one of your hardest workers.
Sure, that's true. I also wonder too if culture for a program has more to do with continuity of coaches, because those are the ones that set what a locker room or a clubhouse are like, and that's in terms of your toughness. That's in terms of how a team, I think, feels about itself sometimes, but it's also about how it is that you're supposed to act on and off the field. A lot of times, it's not a lot of times, it's the coach is the one that's the top of the pyramid here, so he's the person who's the buck's going to stop with, and so it kind of starts and stops there. And I think of a reason why Arkansas acts a way that they do. And I think it's because you have two coaches since 1970, and one played for the other and then worked for the other on the way up. Dave's first, I guess it was 3 or 4 years as an assistant or a grad assistant first, was working for Norm DeBrine. So I think Dave has his own fingerprints, obviously, on this program. It's 22 years. But I think that has to have something to do about players that come here, Matt, they know exactly how it is that they are expected to act. Because I would think if you're a college baseball player right now, or even in the last 10 years, you get a chance to watch postseason games, even if, you don't probably watch a lot of college games in the regular season because those games are on the same time that you're playing. Not everybody's there in the postseason, so they'll watch that. You watch Arkansas, and you get an understanding of what it means to be playing for Dave Van Horn, which I think had to have something similar of what it meant to play for Norm DeBryan. But back then in the 80s and in the early 90s and most of the 90s, players all acted generally the same. There was that quote-unquote respect for the game, and I feel like Arkansas has continued that in a way and also in an era when respect for the game now means something different than it did back then.
You get there, and a lot of it was you're going to redshirt. You think 30 years ago they had a freshman team. You're not even playing as a freshman. You're just kind of getting in line, and you're kind of seeing how the upperclassmen do it.
And when you come into a program that's already winning, you figure there's no reason to change the way that they go about this. So, I started with 1970. Arkansas baseball, that's the first year that Norm DeBryan was the head coach. 55 seasons during that stretch. They've had 51 winning seasons, 4 seasons with more losses than wins. The last one in 2016, that's the only one under Dave Van Horn. There were 3 under Norm DeBryan in all those years. So there has been and is a decided Razorback way, and when you put that kind of record on display, that means something. Since 1970, Tennessee has had 8 coaches, and they've had 12 losing seasons, 6 of them during what you could refer to as a lost decade of Tennessee baseball, pointing the fingers at a couple of coaches that weren't able to carry a tradition that Rod Delmonico took, and he had a good program there at Tennessee for about 20 years. 3 College World Series. Guys like Todd Helton played there. Chris Burke, who's going to be on the call this weekend at Boehm Walker. Todd Rowley and Dave Serrano practically came close to killing Tennessee baseball. If you have more losses than wins in an SEC season, and I'm not talking about the conference record, overall, that's rare. That is really rare. There's only 2 teams that happened to this year. Those would be South Carolina and Missouri, and they were historically bad seasons. Tennessee had 6 losing seasons in a 10-year period, and it all stopped with Tony Vitello. Their baseball culture is all about the time that Tony has been there. The baseball culture at Arkansas, you can point directly to 55 years ago when Norm DeBryan took over. So there's just this track record. Matt, it's the same idea as the Steelers. There's a certain way to go about things when you've had 3 coaches since 1969. And I just feel that has to have something to do about why these 2 teams, while they're in the very same place and they may be 2 of the most dominant programs in the sport over the last 5-6 years, go about things totally different ways.
Be like John Lennon in the L.A. years. Those were just his lost years. But I ask you this, though, Phil. So you're telling me we're paying kids based on not how they perform on the field, on name, image, and likeness. Don't you think they need to have it? Like, you're kind of telling these kids to have a personality and to act a little bit different. How do you still have, say, this is the Razorback way, when by you being flashy or by you doing something, you're going to get more money? So it's kind of like contradicting viewpoints.
That's a good way to look at it, too, because today, part of how you grow your brand is through clicks on your social media pages. A lot of times you only get that by, nobody's going to...
You got to stand out. You don't just fall in line if you want to get more clicks.
Well, you stand out sometimes through antics. You can stand out through accomplishments, that's for sure. But, it's like the same idea as trying to stand out through some long, intelligent screed that takes 5 or 6 different posts to get through. And somebody's going to tell you, I ain't reading all that. You show me highlights of somebody that looks like the Ultimate Warrior that's pumping up the crowd before the coach in the dugout refers to him as something that he probably shouldn't say, and then the guy hits a home run that goes 3 miles. That's the kind of thing. And then he's jumping around the bases, literally jumping around the bases, hyping everybody up as if the home run's not enough. That's the kind of thing you're talking about. That's going to get much more attention than, say, 4 home runs in a game to clinch a regional against a good Creighton team on Sunday, when all the guys did was hit the home run and go around the bases. They might have looked back at their own teammates, might have looked back at the coach and stuck his tongue out like Ryder did, but he didn't do that to the opponent. Anyway, obviously you got to get into the game matchups, the pitching match. We don't know how the pitching matchups are gonna match up just yet. I just know that Arkansas has more rest than Tennessee does, but still, when it comes down to it, the biggest contrasts between these teams are just the way they go about their business. And hey, Tennessee baseball can be a lot of fun to watch. I think that's probably one of the more popular teams with the younger generation in college baseball for exactly the reasons that you're mentioning, Matt. All right, halftime today includes Grant Hall coming up in the next segment, and we have I did get of my friend John Wilkerson, who's the longtime play-by-play voice of Tennessee baseball, dating back to, I think, 1990. So, I mean, John was there for the good years under Coach Delmonico, the lean years leading into Tony Vitello, and these last 5-6 years, which has just been a truly dominant baseball program. John's one of the great guys in college broadcasting, and looking forward to having him on at 1:15. Otherwise, lots of wide open time, calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. And Grant Hall joins us right after this.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home Lewis guarantee.
At center, number 35, a 6'11 junior from Slater, Missouri, Joe Klein. Michael Jordan knocked down by Klein. For Arkansas, their key player.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Don't take less when you can have it all with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Luxe Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box full of craveable faves. The $7 Supreme box for your swankier side. And the $9 Cantina Luxe box has a whole world of tasty indulgences, including the slow-roasted Cantina Chicken Burrito. Get Luxe for less with the $5, $7, and $9 Luxe Cravings boxes at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Roback's got the gear for your perfect summer days.
East Coast summers living on the run. Now the beachfront nights, fireflies and thunderstorms. Won't you kiss me, darling? Tell me that you're gonna stay. Yeah. Give me those East Coast summers, Maryland to Maine. Now the seaside.
Shop polos, hoodies, Q-zips, and much more in the American Summer Collection at Roback.com.
Roback made finding the perfect pair of pants or shorts much easier. They're a clean fit with comfortable premium fabric. They look great on and off the golf course. So shop at Roback.com for the Delta pants and shorts.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
Over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Said to our Lewis Automotive Hotline, a Wednesday morning conversation with Grant Hall. Always appreciate his time. Hall of Fame sports writer and sportscaster. Grant, hey man, you looks like you. I don't know if I look at it in these terms. When the number one overall seed gets knocked out of a tournament earlier than they should, I never really think that means that the committee got it wrong. It just means they weren't really all that good that last weekend. But you questioned Vanderbilt being the overall number one seed, and turns out they're the only one that never made it to a regional final.
Well, do you think, Phil, that the results of the only 4 SEC teams remaining out of 13 means that the league was overrated, or do you just think it means that they happened to lose last weekend? You would think that this helps Arkansas in a sense that I would be concerned if you get to Omaha with other SEC teams, but there aren't going to be that many this year. That's kind of how I look at it. But maybe we've underrated the rest of the country somewhat.
Maybe somewhat. I mean, I think there's a legitimacy to the idea that maybe Kentucky didn't belong in the tournament, but I think Florida. Part of the problem is that you schedule out of conference regionally, and when you're Florida, you're going to schedule in the state of Florida or at least around it, and that's just. There's really good mid-major programs there that are playing in the tournament and power programs that are playing in the tournament too. So it's tough to look at a strength of schedule that Florida has, even though they had another sub-500 record in the SEC, and say, well, you don't belong. Kentucky's a different situation because they're not in that kind of region. But I know what I was watching this year, and the SEC still has an amazing amount of talent. I just didn't see a team that stood out in ways that some other teams stood out, like Tennessee from last year, like Arkansas from 21, like Vanderbilt from 19. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I've thought since before the season that Arkansas had a great chance to get to Omaha, and now think they have a great chance to win the whole thing. Now, I'm sure Dave Van Horn will be aghast at hearing that before they even play Tennessee, but I think this is going to be a really fun regional. I think unlike some people, I think actually the Saturday start is good because you give Root another day, and you also, to me, Phil, last weekend the Saturday atmosphere was much better than Friday or Sunday.
I thought so.
So you're in 4:00 Saturday. You're going to have that. I hope the rain doesn't. I mean, I hope weather doesn't interfere with this kind of thing because that can kind of put a damper literally on things. But I just think it's a good situation for Arkansas. You can say, well, Tennessee was an unfair draw or whatever, but remember, Arkansas won that series even losing the first game. Now, that's not easy to do, is to go down 1-0 against a good team and win the next two. It was very evenly matched. Arkansas outscored Tennessee 23-20 for the 3 games. I wasn't there. I was in Charlotte watching the PGA, so I'm looking forward to seeing Tony and everybody in person. But I think the thing to guard against for Arkansas fans is you don't have to, you don't have to be victim to the things Tony's going to try. Like that thing he said the other day, did Arkansas win 24 hours after he knew they already won? He's already, to me, he's going to try things knowing that Arkansas is probably the better team. Arkansas has better pitching depth, in my opinion, Phil. They didn't even have to use Fouch or McIntyre, for example, last weekend. And Arkansas, to me, all those home runs they hit, those 10 home runs, I was sitting there. I just walked by where the organist usually is, so I went out there and sat there for a second and watched that Logan Maxwell's home run, which it was halfway up the flagpole, and it looked to me like it bounced on the other side of the pond. I'm not sure if it really did. But they put on a show last weekend, should have a lot of confidence. To me, it's the most complete team when you're talking about the fielding percentage and the pitching depth and the hitting. So I think there's every reason for Arkansas fans to feel bullish and not worry about anybody else, really. Just, cheer the Razorbacks on.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Absolutely right there with you. Funny the way that you put it about Tony psyching out fans, because I've always thought that it's more designed to psych out the players and get them annoyed. But it is an interesting thought because you have a decided home field advantage at Bowen Walker, especially with the team right now that I think fans believe in, like I've seen in other years. So that is an interesting, way to look at it. But everything that Tony does is going to elicit some kind of response. I mean, even the difference between no response and a response is about 8 inches of a step, the top step of the dugout. And he'll be up there early. The moment he takes that one step from the 3rd step to the 4th step in the dugout, that place is going to go bonkers.
Yeah, and part of it is just good fun, but I mean, we're coming off a series. By contrast, Ed Service, this was his last time to coach in baseball. He was 22 years at Creighton, never had to dismiss a player. Think about that. In 22 years, think about what went into recruiting all those players for that to happen. And then for you probably read, I know that you and most Arkansas fans know what Dave and Ed said to each other in the Mutual Admiration Society. But I mean, you just could not have had a series played with more class. Both teams played the right way. Arkansas doesn't go in for the kind of stuff that other programs do, and I know it agitates fans. But Tennessee's going to do some of that, and you just I don't believe Arkansas will be affected by it.
Hey,
some
Grant,
of the fans might be, but yeah.
You said that stat on aggregate it was 23-20. So how do you see this round going, this super regional, and what would you say would be kind of Arkansas's maybe like 2 keys to victory?
Well, it always is about pitching, Matt, and how they line up. And last time Arkansas got to Tennessee's ace, who I believe pitched the 2nd game. Is that right, Phil? I believe
Doyle.
That's right.
Doyle. He opened that regional. He pitched Friday and then Monday.
Okay. Well, yeah. So my bad there. But I don't know what they're doing this weekend in terms of that. But the Razorbacks have options. They've got guys that they haven't used a whole lot or not at all, as I said. And so, you get into these SEC matchups, Matt, where I think that's why Ole Miss, for example, does better against Arkansas than maybe against a Murray State, because they know that you have this familiarity and you know these guys better, maybe better than they know themselves in terms of scouting.
But Grant, I love that. Don't you love that though? I love that because I spent all those years in minor league baseball, and these guys sometimes are playing 32 games against each other a year. They know each other better than they know themselves in some cases. That's the major difference. It's like I don't like when people try to compare college baseball to any level of pro baseball, because normally you only play a team 3 times a year, and in pro ball, I said 32. In Major League Baseball, you can play a team, I think, up to 12 or 16 times. It's a different thing. It's a much different thing when you're scouted and scouted again and scouted again. Then it's about a game of adjustments. So this is almost like a pro baseball series in that sense.
Yeah, and Matt, to try to answer your question, and I'm not the best because I didn't see the series, as I only saw one game on television last time. But the fact that Arkansas can hit home runs all the way up and down the lineup, all 9 guys are home run threats. We've never seen that before, I don't think, here. And, Dave, once again, he makes this move where he puts Helfrich into the cleanup spot, and look at how that worked out. He had 3 home runs in 3 games, and he just does these things and takes advantage of the guys that are hot and so forth. So, I think Arkansas is a better team, but they're not. Obviously, by the 23-20, they're not miles better. And so that's the best way I can answer that, I guess.
I'm not asking for predictions. Not at all. But does this feel like a series that goes 3 games? Because most SEC series do to me. And just going by what we saw the first time around, it's just the pitching matchups I think are a little bit differently affected because Arkansas has more rest. So I still, in the back of my mind, think these are 2 good teams. It's going to go 3. What do you think?
Well, the last thing Dave Van Horn wants to hear is me saying this, but I have the feeling Arkansas is going to win in 2 games. But if it does go 3, I think they're positioned to have enough pitching to handle that if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be fun, Grant.
It'd be 2 games, but it'd take as long as 3 games. That's how we'll do it. I like it.
The human rain delays. That's right. Remember Mike Hargrove, Grant, the human rain delay?
Oh, yes. Yeah, he would not have done well with today's rules, would he have?
I think he may have had to retire. He would have been forced to retire, him and Sean Casey. Right. The 2 human rain delays. There are no human rain delays anymore. It's just Tennessee is basically rain delays wearing skin now.
Let me give you one quick golf note. Alvaro Ortiz, who played at Arkansas and has played in the Masters before, made an ace, and he shot a 28 on 9 holes of U.S. Open qualifying, and he got in on what they call golf's longest day, on Monday. I always find that day fascinating. Max Homa carried his own bag because he is split with his caddy, and he walked 36 holes, and he missed it by a 3-putt on his last hole, and he lost in a playoff of getting into U.S. Open. So just getting in it is a big deal. So congratulations to Alvaro Ortiz.
Carrying your own bag as a pro doesn't happen often, if ever.
No.
Yeah.
He could have called any person in this planet that knows golf, and they would have carried the bag for him. Like how many people would carry? I'd carry Max Homa's bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't Happy Gilmore take a homeless guy off the street?
I think he had a nail in his head or a 2x4.
And the thing is, Homa, I listened to his press conference. I was walking in one day in Charlotte, and it was so cold in the air-conditioned press room that I stopped in there and listened to Homa for about 20 minutes and just fascinated by how articulate he is, but he looked like on the 36th hole that he was playing the first hole, as fresh as a daisy. It must not have been too hot there.
That's no Phil's doctor.
He must have gotten a steroid shot in his butt before the tournament. That's right. Grant, let's leave it there. Hopefully next week we're talking about Omaha, okay?
I hope so. Thank you.
Always appreciate you. It's Grant Hall, Hall of Fame sports writer, sportscaster, gives us some of his time each Wednesday on Halftime. Don't forget Crabtree RV Center in Alma, been serving our listening audience for over 75 years and counting. Every buyer gets the best RV purchasing experience. You'll help to choose the right RV. Personalized financing is right there, and top-of-the-line parts and service department on site. Crabtree RV, junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, and right online at crabtreerv.com. Can see all of their inventory on the website, too. Let's open up the Lewis Automotive Hotline for calls and texts 877-377-6963. Halftime is right back.
Hogs are going to the Supers.
And the Rooster, yep, he's strutting to the dugout.
Our exclusive coverage of the 2025 Fayetteville Super Regionals is brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agent Heath Roberts, ASU Mountain Home, and by First Star Bank.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-551-3241. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-551-3241. That's 800-551-3241. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pawn, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pawn today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pawn.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Do you want to be home every weekend, use brand new equipment, and make a competitive salary? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, call 479-646-4685. That's 646-4685. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, and online at Lavorne, LOVVORN Lumber.com. Lavorne Lumber. Paying the bills, we'll take care of you.
Old Ford Days action begins Memorial Day, and the Old Ford Days official merchandise is ready for you at Jelco Outdoors. Ball caps, t-shirts, koozies, drinkware, and more. Check out the selection of cowboy hats, boots, shirts, and belts. Hot buys on Ariat and Wrangler jeans. Buy 2 pair and get a 3rd pair free, plus a free Old Ford Days rodeo cap with purchase. Go to the Old Ford Days Rodeo in style. Check out the Old Ford Days official merchandise at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Luxury is having nothing to do but decide between Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. A classic $5 box or an indulgent $7 box. Or the adventurous $9 box. Okay, I'll do the $7. I mean, 9. 5, 7. Wait, what am I doing? This choice is yours. Whichever you choose, get Lux for less with a $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price of participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I tied a rope around my waist. I tend to get lost in your eyes. I took a breath, jumped off the cliff because you told me to. Is it love or suicide? Is it love or suicide? Is it love or suicide? Is it love?
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt, one of our listeners works at a printing facility in Fort Smith,
and it's not Cecil.
It's not Cecil. That's right. So I'm not going to mention who it is, but this is a large printer, and this guy texted in and said it's football season. Meanwhile, it's about 92 days before Arkansas football begins, but it's football season there because they are printing, and these are Bud Light boxes for the 16 cans. They are printing Houston Texans, UTSA branded Bud Light cans, Kansas City Chiefs, the Ravens, the Commanders, the Jaguars. Let's see, there's more of them here. There's New Hampshire. I don't even know the name of New Hampshire. Are they the Catamounts, or is that Vermont? New Mexico, Sam Houston State, and LSU. They're all Razorback fans over at this printing facility in Fort Smith. You guys could do the best thing possible. I mean, the absolute funniest thing possible. I remember in the 80s learning about subliminal advertising, and our teacher had us looking through magnifying glasses at some of the ads that were in magazines. Christian, there used to be these things called magazines, which were very topical, and they would come out maybe once a week or once a month, and they would be supported by advertisements. These are basically now called websites. But the ads, if you zeroed in on some of these ads, you could see the word sex written into the graphic. I mean, it was subliminal, but it was there. We could do something.
TV too.
Sure they do. Yeah, just look up Joe Camel sometime, okay?
Even the Lion King has some subliminal messages that I know it sounds crazy, but they did it back then too.
You talking about the Pepsi cans, Phil?
I think Pepsi cans may have had
they
one.
Had the thing where if you had 3 cans, you could space them the right way, and it would spell SCX. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a very specific thing that Joe Camel's nose looks like. But then there's other ones too. But you could also just, if you guys over there at this printing facility could find a way to slip in, I don't know, a subliminal loser or corn dog onto the LSU Bud Light boxes, I think we'll see if this actually has any effect on how they perform throughout this season, or if you just end up with a lot of angry LSU fans and they have no idea why. But congratulations for having the ability to influence everybody's season.
Wasn't it Navy? It's not Notre Dame, but there's a football team that they made the visiting team's locker room pink, and they thought it gave them an advantage.
Iowa did that.
Iowa, yeah, okay, you heard, yeah.
And then my favorite one was the visiting locker room at Bryant-Denny Stadium was donated. The money was donated by a gentleman whose name is James Fail. So the visiting locker room at Bryant-Denny Stadium is called the Fail Room. They know exactly what they're doing.
Georgia, when we played Georgia basketball, and their mascot sets up, it looks like he's holding a piece. I mean, right, the way you talk about, you can see it, like the way when he's pointing at you, it looks like he's holding a piece.
Which is the logo that makes it? Is it the Bulls? It's the Chicago Bulls logo. When you flip it upside down, it looks like a DJ. It looks like a DJ with two turntables
and a microphone.
And he should have the microphone, but I don't know. Beck was not around back then.
He might be a Bulls fan.
Did you know the Milwaukee Brewers cap spells MB?
I do.
I always thought it was just a glove.
Yeah, it took me 30 to 35 years before I realized that logo, that is the greatest logo in baseball history.
You know, your boy, Coach Norm DeBryan, still calls me Milwaukee Brewer every time he sees me. Because that was my favorite hat. And the first time I met him, like my freshman year, I wore a Milwaukee's Brewers hat every time he'd see me, and he's still every time.
So was it the hat we're talking about, or was it the one that when they did away with that logo and they went with the wheat, or it was
it's the hat you're talking. It looks like a glove. Good. It spells MB. Yeah.
Oh, that was that was not subliminal. It's just it took you a while to realize that thing was right there in front of you from the very moment that you ever looked at the thing. And the Montreal Expos, there was an M and there's an E down on the bottom of it, but nobody remembers the Expos anyway. That's right. And Emmett shows, this is why I love, the UAPB Golden Lion logo is one of the coolest logos in college sports because the Lion's mane, as it flares out, spells UAPB. And it takes a while to remember all of that. But, none of that has to do with the idea of just dropping some subliminal loser messages onto the Bud Light boxes, which, by the way, how many Bud Light boxes do you think they're going to purchase in Baton Rouge during football season? And if every last one of them had the word loser just imprinted in there in the purple and they can't tell, this would be just an absolutely amazing experiment to try to pull off during the football season.
I don't even think it has to be that, like, it could be so overt it's covert because they're not the smartest down there at LSU. You know, they could kind of little overt, covert thing.
Oh, this is really good. That's good. Now, I had to make sure that when this fellow texted in that I could talk about this because I don't want to get people in trouble. We've gotten people in trouble at work before because, we're right in the middle of the day with this show and not everybody's focus is on work sometimes because we're so darn entertaining. Let's look through some more of these texts here. Cliff asked, do you think the umpires will put up with Tennessee's stall tactics? So I've already sent in the question to Arkansas baseball, do you know who the umpiring crew is going to be? Because that may have something to do with it. I don't know. All I know is that the umpires usually are pretty good about sticking to the plan in terms of the clock, but they will give an extra 15 seconds. Tennessee will try to get, that's what I meant. Tennessee, 30 seconds on the mound, they'll try to get an extra 15 to 20. They'll have their timeout. They will use every second of that timeout when they're at the plate. They will test the umpires. They will test that clock. And they will test that very early in Saturday's game to have a sense of what it is that they can and can't get away with. But I don't know who the umpires are. If they are umpires who have umpired in the SEC before, I think that would make an amazing amount of sense. I don't know if the NCAA doesn't want to have conference umpires in that in a ballpark where the home team is from the same conference. But when you have two teams that are both from the SEC, where's the advantage in this case? There just isn't. And I think if you got to know the teams in this sense, and there will be SEC umpires that have a real idea of what Tennessee's like and how they try to get a thing. So I think the answer to your question, Cliff, is the umpires have put up with Tennessee's stall tactics is based upon who these umpires are and where it is they've umpired previously. And as soon as I know who these guys are, I'll let you know. Let's go to David in Searcy, holding for the last couple of minutes. He's on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. David, thanks for calling. What's up?
Hey, guys. I got something to say, but first I want to ask a question. Did I hear on the Chuck and Bo show this morning that Arkansas will be the visiting team in the first game?
I did not. I was unaware of that.
That's what someone stated. And I could not understand that. I even Googled it, and it said in Super Regionals, the higher-seeded team is the home team. And I was having to deal with a couple of young boys that I was seeing after, but I heard them say that Arkansas would be the visiting team. Why could that happen?
This is not a matter of just trying to be fair, which is what the regional idea is. It's all about who's been the home team fewer times is the home team in the next game. In this case, it's straight seeding. I don't know where that information came from, but as my understanding is that Arkansas is the home team Saturday and would be the home team in a deciding game on Monday. Now, in 2015, although Arkansas hosted the Super Regional against Missouri State was the higher seeded team, so they were home 2 out of 3. There's, so I don't know where that info came from, but it's not right information. 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Hotline. It's Wednesday. Get the kids over to Joe's Grilling Cantina today. Delicious meal for $5. There's the coloring contest. Kids win cool prizes and karaoke night where your kids shine as the star. That's every Wednesday night. Food and fun atmosphere. Joe's Grilling Cantina, 3400 South 74th across from Harps and Fort Smith, and online at joesfortsmith.com. Quick break. Back to wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
You are very knowledgeable, and you keep it interesting.
This is halftime.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Do you want to be home every weekend, use brand new equipment, and make a competitive salary? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, call 479-646-4685. That's 646-4685. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com. Lavorne Lumber. Paying the bills, we'll take care of you.
A lot of life can happen between sips of Dasani. You know, the life moments, big and small, that are worth getting thirsty for. Like organizing a family movie night under the stars. Or hearing an old favorite song and having an impromptu dance party. Or finding a new dinner recipe that the whole family loves. The crisp, clean taste of Dasani was made for all of life's thirst-worthy moments. Dasani, because life happens between sips.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. At Dixie Digital, we go beyond copiers. We offer complete solutions to help your business thrive, including IT services, secure cloud solutions, and productivity-enhancing printers. With Xerox, Brother, and Epson cutting-edge technology, we ensure you have everything you need to succeed. Call us at 783-6600 to discover our latest technology and services. Dixie Digital Imaging, your trusted partner for IT and document management.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
See dealer for details. At Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren, there's never been a better time to buy. Stop in today and check out our huge discounts on new Chevrolets and pre-owns. No reasonable offer will be refused, and at Roads, we always give you more for your trade. Plus, we offer free pickup and delivery. You can even buy remotely. Stop in and let us show you the Roads way with our 2-year complimentary maintenance program on every vehicle sold. Experience the Roads way. Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, where you get the best prices, period.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
You turn the screws, you tear down the bridge. Flimsy as it is, it's businesslike. You shake my hand, you break up the band. Flimsy as it is, it's open mic punk rock.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Interaction with Zach Root and his mom, Dawn, that Hogs Plus caught after Saturday's win. Zach apparently really wanted himself some Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Taco Bell. Go-to is a double beef burrito. It's got cheese, queso, ground beef, and it's like Fritos. So I go and get about 5 of those.
All right, that's not the thing that I heard. The only thing that mattered to me was he was about to eat 5 of these things. So how I remember feeling after playing a Little League baseball game, and Mom and Dad wanted to take, what do you want? I want McDonald's. What do you want? I want 40 chicken McNuggets. Of course, you're not going to finish all of those. How many condiment packets does it take at Taco Bell to finish 5 of these?
1,000. How many could you eat? Do you think 2 before you're like, I'm it. That's it. Because at that age, Phil, I mean, I know one time I went and ate 17 slices of pizza,
and then went to sleep.
Yeah, when you're that age. But now, if I had to eat more than 2, I think I'd just start crying.
All right, I want to go to the Lewis Automotive Hotline because I've been just dying to ask Eduardo the Sherpa this. Eduardo, turn that radio down. Turn that radio down so you can hear me through the phone and not through the radio. Got a very, very special and very important question to ask you, which we've asked Matt Jones and we've asked Christian Johnston and a few others too. And since you were one of the star callers on this and every other show, how many Taco Bell condiment packs do you have stuck in Eduardo the Sherpa's cabinets? Because I'm going to guarantee you got more than 10.
Well, I got a few, sir. I say
you go fire sauce, don't you? Come on, you go fire sauce, don't you, Eduardo?
I'm glad you asked the question, sir. But let me say this: I got a little Cajun in my heritage, sir. One of my favorite is spicy hot gumbo, and I'm getting ready to spice it up. But I want to talk to this morning. Our Quakers Super Regional. Epic. I mean, when you look at this, you got the reigning national champions of Tennessee ball. I played this, I said it this morning on the Morning Rush. In 1974, Muhammad Ali and George Foreman and Zaire for the heavyweight championship of the world. Let me say, it was one of the most anticipated heavyweight matches the world has ever witnessed. And Muhammad Ali knocked him out, Foreman in the 8th round to regain the heavyweight championship of the world.
And then you know what he did after that, Eduardo? And I had to put you on hold because the music started, and that means we got another 15 seconds. Muhammad Ali at that point then ate 5 of the same burritos that Jack Root requested from his mom on Saturday night, because who wouldn't after winning that championship once again? Down goes Eduardo! Down goes Eduardo! Yeah. Our Hit That Line app, by the way, is brought to you by Taco Bell. Stay with us for the second hour of halftime. It's coming up after this.
For details. At Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren, there's never been a better time to buy. Stop in today and check out our huge discounts on new Chevrolets and pre-owns. No reasonable offer will be refused, and at Roads, we always give you more for your trade. Plus, we offer free pickup and delivery. You can even buy remotely. Stop in and let us show you the Roads way with our 2-year complimentary maintenance program on every vehicle sold. Experience the Roads way. Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, where you get the best prices, period.
Forest Grid Incorporated, a company known for paying top wages and benefits, has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. For nearly 90 years, Forest Grid has built the foundations of the River Valley, and now you can become a part of that legacy. Apply now from any device at GoForestGrid.com. That's GoForestGrid.com. Do you finally want to get paid well for your work? Do you want to work for a company that treats you like family? Apply now at GoForestGrid.com. Forest Grid Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Big changes are coming. In order to serve you better, Metters Lumber is joining Ace Hardware. We will remain locally owned and operated so you can expect the same great service, but with lower pricing and better selection. We'll have exciting new brands to serve more of your needs. Come by and check out our deeply discounted merchandise as we make room for new products at Metters Lumber Company in Alma, Ozark in Clarksville.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 70s north, mid 80s south. Chance of showers and scattered storms tonight, overnight low upper 60s. And then a 50-50 chance of showers and storms on Thursday, a high just over 80 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 87 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Well, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
.12:01, it's halftime. We continue on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing. No guests in this hour. It's just us. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. Gets a lot of people texting in about our Taco Bell sauce packets. Ryan in Prairie Grove, knowing that this is Charlie's segment soon, figures Charlie's got 27 mild Taco Bell sauce packets in his center console. No telling what he's got at the house there. That's right. Text out of the 479 wants to know the impact of Tennessee's starting catcher being suspended for game one. That is the last place you'd want to have somebody suspended. Absolutely, unless it's second base, because the second baseman for Tennessee, Dean Curley, has committed the most errors of any player in the SEC, and I think he's had a hand in probably about 2 or 3 losses directly to his fielding. But I think the other thing you never want to lose is your starting catcher, especially considering that the backup is a redshirt freshman who hasn't been catching any league games. He's been a midweek guy for most of the season. I guarantee you he's talented, but you got to have some feel when it comes to catching, and he hasn't really hit very much of late. So I think that's a massive
big
edge for the Razorbacks.
Phil, how big? So I quit pitching, or as far as was done playing baseball around the 9th grade, and it was always different, the silhouette or the body type, whenever it would be a different catcher. How big is that still a thing at this level? You're so used, we're creatures of habit, and we're so used to things being a certain way, then now all of a sudden it's a whole different body type that is behind the plate.
That's true. And where it is he may set up, and how it is that he calls for the pitch, and how it is that he frames it and everything. I mean, I don't think any catcher does things in a similar fashion. I think it has so much to do, Matt, with what you're talking about, which is the mentality that the pitchers have and the trust that they feel in that catcher. They can say all the right things, and they will say all the right things. We trust him. He's really good. He was great in the midweek.
Would it be like changing, like when a center goes out for a quarterback? Now, I know they do things out of the gun a lot more, so it's not. But when you're getting a snap under center, the ball point, the ass, you put your hand under. It's all different. So if you haven't practiced it can take you a little bit to get used to.
No, I don't think there's any doubt about that. It's also in the mindset of the catcher. You have not been catching these pitchers on a routine basis. You have been catching guys on a Tuesday or a Wednesday that normally won't be throwing on a Saturday. And so you're not quite, it's just muscle memory in a lot of cases. The knowledge that, Zach Roote's curveball spins this certain way, so if it hits the dirt, it's going to bounce a certain way. Same with his slider. That's just a matter of repetition. He doesn't have those repetitions with these pitchers. So it's and the difference between a pitch getting by him and him not and him blocking it is the slightest little difference, the slightest split-second difference of recognizing where it looks like that pitch is going to break, and you better get on top of that thing. So I think it's a massive advantage for the Hogs in the first game. Massive. I don't think you can underline it enough.
More of a reason where they won't throw their ace the first game if he's not used to it. More of a reason that you throw him the second game, even though you're talking about a day less of rest. But I think that tends to lead more of a reason that you'll see him in the second game.
And the rest aspect is part of it, but I think you're right about that too. I think that gets into the mindset of the pitcher, and it certainly gets into the mindset of the team overall. And it's just taking to the thought of in 2019, if Casey Opitz got hurt and you had Dylan Leach who was catching that next game. Dylan was talented, but it would have been a downgrade, just an obvious automatic downgrade. And you can't, no matter what those pitchers and that team says, you can't paper over that kind of a change. Let's go to our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Tiger Bait has called us up. He must have heard us talking about the printers in Fort Smith who are printing. I don't know if you're a Bud Light drinker or not, Tiger Bait. You might be. But we're finding a way to get a little subliminal message into the beer boxes coming up this season.
The one, the only Tiger Bait. I'm in Fort Smith working, and I'm hitting the Seek and button on my radio, and it stops at 95.3 ESPN. And the first dang thing I hear out of Matt Jones's mouth, he says, those people down in Baton Rouge aren't that smart anyway. The very first thing, Matt.
That's called great timing.
And you know what? I have a tendency to agree with you, because we did leave Corey Birmingham wide open in the end zone on the Miracle on Markham. You remember that? I'm assuming.
Man, Tiger Bait, it's been a long time. How you doing, bro?
Where have you been? Are you going to the Buzz deal where they're teaching the women how to bet on sports or something? I hear Petrino
think they let the casino people talk to me, so I have to stay away from there.
Well, I think that's a different deal. I think Bobby and Petrino and Talon Green are going to go to this deal, along with Casey Dick and one of your old running backs, Niall Davis.
No,
they're all.
I doubt that they're teaching those people how to gamble. This might be the football 101 thing that they've done for a long time.
You're exactly right, Phil. Phil, do you know the play-by-play at LSU? Do you know? His name just escaped me. He's the one that comes up with all the Philisms, as you say, the stuff.
You mean the ones for it's Chris Blair's the radio voice of LSU, but I think you're talking about the TV guy right?
Lynn Rollins.
Lynn Rollins, yeah. Lynn's amazing. I didn't even realize this until we went to Baton Rouge for the LSU series. Lynn lives in Auburn and drives to Baton Rouge for all those games. And he's really good. I mean, he's funny.
Well, yeah, he's from my hometown in Louisiana. His dad was my football coach way back in the day, and Lynn is actually, I think he's 70 or 71, but he used one the other day. Ben McDonald used the Bear has come out of hibernation on the home run against that powerhouse juggernaut Little Rock Trojans that we snuck by, on Monday. But he used one the other day. Phil, you'll love this. It'll take a subpoena, a bloodhound, and a federal marshal to go find that baseball.
I think he said, what was the other one? Was it, I think it was a pitch that Christian Fouch threw, and it was 102, and he said, that's the kind of temperature that allows you to stay home from school.
He's really good at it, but I love his pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye.
Yeah,
but anyway, I just wanted to call in and say how Sterling is. Does Sterling call into this show?
Yeah, we've heard from Sterling quite a bit.
Okay, so the Eduardo dude, is that fake Eddie from Clarksville?
No, that's real Eddie from Clarksville. We just give him a different moniker here, and we don't let him go through his script.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say it sounds exact because a lot of people do call in under fake names, and I didn't know if y'all had created this guy and said, "Hey, let's do some fake Eddie from Clarksville." So, what happened to the train thing?
He still does it. It's just if I let him get into it, it's a matter of how long we're going to let him talk before I ask him a weird question. Because I'm trying to get Eddie to just be different on this show than he is in all the other shows.
Well, I think his head was probably explode if you tried to change him up. But the dude's a treasure.
Tiger Bait, you got to listen to the phone calls, and you will hear a small portion of Eduardo's brain blowing up as he hears these questions. It's just a little piece of it. It happens every time.
And the taco deal, I went through Taco Bell yesterday, and I swear I probably put 10 packs of that condiment on one taco because it just drizzles out and then it just dead ends. I mean, there's not much in it, I bet they don't have a half a cent in that stupid thing.
That's right. Well, I mean, you got to eat it. And the way that I do it is first if you get a taco, first you're going to put a whole packet of sauce on it, and then you drop little drizzlets of sauce into each bite as you're going through
like
the taco.
Like a 78-year-old man uses a restroom.
Absolutely, yes. Anyway, I just wanted to call in. I'm actually working in Fort Smith. It's raining. Are y'all going to any chance of getting rainouts this weekend for y'all, or how's the weather looking?
Looks like the weather looks like it'll be all right. The rain should get away by the time first pitch arrives Saturday. So I think it's actually a good thing we don't have this thing starting Friday because it should be a pretty ugly Friday night.
Well, I think a drizzle is fine. It's just the light. We had a 5-hour lightning delay against Little Rock.
A rain delay that seemed to tick off even some of your fans too. But that's Jay Johnson, isn't it? You just expect it.
Exactly. Well, I just wanted to call in and say hi. I'm going to start working this area a little bit, and I will listen to your station. I actually love your station. So, Matt, it's good to talk to you again. And Phil,
yes,
I messaged you the other day. I don't know if you got it or not on Facebook.
Oh, I don't know. I'll check. That means I have to know your real name, which I think I do remember it, but I wouldn't have been looking for it at that moment.
It was about Lynn Rollins and his the stuff he says. But anyway, well, y'all have a good show, and thank you for taking my phone call. And as always, go Tigers!
Appreciate you, Tiger Bait. So Tiger Bait thought that it was an Ersatz Eduardo that called in. Was that an Ersatz Tiger Bait? That's not the usual guy who sometimes will get a little bit fiery with you. He's pretty friendly there, Matt.
We don't have enough money to pay callers to call in. We got to hope they want to call in. So, but maybe some shows do that, but we don't have a budget for that.
I mean, just look at some of the texts that came in once he made the phone call. Tyler asks if he's finally out of prison. Chris in Springdale says, this is Tiger defanged and declawed. That's right. JT thinks Tiger Bait wears on work release or has been transferred to the prison in Fort Smith. And a guy from Harrison wonders if Tiger Bait's still around. He might have died or whatever, but that was a different kind of a Tiger Bait. Because I remember listening when he called in on the buzz and he got banned from ever calling again. It's the same guy. It actually sounded like him. So then that means Charlie the Tuna gets to follow Man, Charlie, our last two phone callers have been Eduardo, the Taco Bell eating Sherpa, and the non-tiger bait, the Ersatz tiger bait. Who are you?
It's me. You know, the thing is, someone said something about me with the sauce, right? I will say this: the only thing the tuna keeps in his console or his dash here, you know, straight quarters, Phil. So when I go and you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about.
All I know, Charlie, is that
truck.
Taco Bell's been making tacos since the 70s, and they've never once made a tuna taco.
No, and they probably don't need to. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it may be healthy, but I don't know if that would be very good. It just doesn't feel right. I have been to Taco Bell, and they've told me before, we do not have meat today. So, and that's the one in Camden.
Well, then the thing you say is, have you ever really had meat? Yes, they have.
True.
Yes, they have. They're a great sponsor. It's real meat. It's 100% natural.
You guys have no meat, and I'm at Taco Bell. Like, what? Could you not put a sign up? Jesus Christ. Anyway, no, man, I got to follow up two pretty banger phone calls right there. I was actually going to give that guy credit. I was going to be like, this guy is actually a really good caller from another team, not like the from Texas or whatever his name is. So that was actually the defanged version of him?
I guess like declawed, defanged, or just, I guess tamed somehow.
Yeah, man, it just happens, as we get older. I think we're supposed to get smarter and better. I don't know. I don't mean that ugly, Tiger, whatever your name is. Don't call back in here and give the tuna any. We don't want any beef. I'll try not to do that. But anyway, I was gonna throw this out there. I was watching Gage Wood the other day, Phil. I think is that his curveball or his slider? That sucker almost looks like it started one of them in particular started at the top of the plate and it wound up down in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like when that fastball is coming the way it comes, and then it almost looks like it rises. I think Bubba made a comment on that it's like a carry fastball. I see us struggle with hitting those kind of pitchers sometimes, like when the fastball moves just a bit, maybe at the end, and it kind of rises a bit. How do you hit this guy when he's on? I mean, now he's only got 2 to 3 really good pitches, right? And then you've got, a lot of people would refer to, I guess, Root as a stock pitcher, right? Because he has this dude has got stuff too.
No, Root's not a stock pitcher. He's a kitchen sink guy, but he's got stuff that goes along with it. He's not a crafty lefty. He just has the stuff that you would think would classify a crafty lefty. Everything moves, but he throws hard enough. Yeah, he's not a soft tosser at all. And with Wood, if he's on, you don't hit him. That high fastball can be impossible for batters to get on top of the way they need to hit it hard and line it. Otherwise, you either swing and miss or you pop the thing up. And what makes his curveball so effective, Charlie, is because the pitching coaches will use the term tunneling, and it's basically to have your pitches coming out of the same slot and the same arm action, and to have it look the same coming out of your hand, and his fastball and the curveball are looking somewhat similar coming out of the hand. Now, it's always going to have a little bit of a different look because the curveball comes out of the hand going up a little bit, just a tiny little bit, and the fastball doesn't. But he's able to mask that and hide it in a way, but also because he throws so darn hard. So when that curveball comes up at you and it looks like it's going to stay up, and the next thing you know, it drops, that can be an impossible pitch to hit. It's just a matter of if he makes mistakes. Even a guy like Gage Wood, his 98, 97 mile-an-hour fastball, if it's in the middle of the strike zone and a guy's ready for it, this Tennessee team can turn that pitch around, and they can hit it over the fence. I mean, that, to me, is the major difference between who you see this weekend and the teams you played last weekend. I don't think Creighton, certainly North Dakota State, did not have the kind of hitters that can take advantage of a 97 or 98 mile an hour mistake on a consistent basis the way that Tennessee can.
Oh, no doubt. And I know you guys are about to go to break, so let me be real quick. Now, Bubba also talks about he's wanting him to throw that changeup a little bit more. If he ever gets that, man, this guy right here, I mean, he's already probably going up draft boards. I don't know if we'll get him back next year. He's just so darn talented. And another thing, too, the pull this weekend, do you think the pull is quicker because it's a 3-game series? If somebody's struggling, we have so much depth in the pen, you got to go get him I think we have enough depth in the pen. I mean, if somebody's off, do you go get him early, Phil, is my question.
Yes.
Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Yes, because you can never act like there's always a tomorrow. You can act like there's always a tomorrow in a regular season. You can act like there's a tomorrow in an SEC tournament. But once you get to this point, especially in a series that can be 2 or 3 games, you can never act like there is a tomorrow. So I think if Wood comes out or Root comes out and doesn't look like he's got good location or his stuff isn't right, well, then you've got the kind of bullpen that can paper that over. And you got the kind of lineup that can make up that difference. It's just you can't let things snowball too long, and I don't think they will. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. I want to remind you about WT Equipment. It's your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment sales, parts, and service, featuring high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors, hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all at all of their 8 locations. New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Got to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Call WT Equipment or just stop by one of their locations, including in Springdale. They're also online at WTEquip.com. Stay with us. Halftime returns after the break.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Tommy, what's the last time you've had breast milk?
Sports to the wacky, weird, and wonderful. We've got you covered.
You got to be able to shoot. You got to be a threat.
You know, you suck the helium out of a balloon and then you get, hey, how you doing?
Is that dangerous? I'm a hugger.
I never get a hug from you. What's that about?
I'm selective with them.
I've been guilty of saying that you are what your record says you are. It feels different now.
13 hours of local programming in podcast form every day. Don't miss a moment of fun on the Hit That Line Podcast Network.
Have you ever pooped yourself?
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40 years, offers 18-month financing so you can secure your home or office now and pay over time. Free quotes, custom designs, and the expertise to accomplish what most can't. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Come see Cody and the gang at Advanced Mechanical Performance. You can find him at 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Need repair or service for your ATV or UTV? Advanced Mechanical Performance can do it all, as well as taking care of all of your power sports parts accessory needs. Give him a call today at 434-4161. That's 434-4161. Or stop by 3201 Wheeler Avenue. Advanced Mechanical Performance. It's what you should be striving for.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Big changes are coming. In order to serve you better, Metters Lumber is joining Ace Hardware. We will remain locally owned and operated so you can expect the same great service, but with lower pricing and better selection. We'll have exciting new brands to serve more of your needs. Come by and check out our deeply discounted merchandise as we make room for new products at Metters Lumber Company in Alma, Ozark in Clarksville.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
And I'm just a waste of her energy. And she's just a wasting my time. So why don't we get together and we could waste everything tonight.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
The ESPN is sending their top crew to Arkansas for this Super Regional, which means I might not get the email that I got in the middle of Saturday's game against Creighton from a listener in Mountain Home who, and I quote, "Do you and Bubba realize ESPN does not like Arkansas in any way? Do you guys not see what goes on with their network pertaining to Arkansas baseball, football, basketball, and other sports? They treat us like crap," unquote. My response, which I didn't see the email until Sunday morning, was, what in any way does this have to do with me and Bubba? I had no clue whatsoever because I don't watch the Arkansas baseball telecasts. I'm there calling the game. So I don't have an opinion about how they treat Arkansas in that sense. I just know, I think ESPN they send guys where they think the games are going to get ratings, and they think that the ratings for Tennessee and for LSU are going to be higher than the Razorback ratings from this last weekend. But now, since this is so obviously the marquee matchup of any Super Regional, there's no choice but to send the top crew of Tom Hart, Kyle Peterson, and Chris Burke to Baum Walker for this Super Regional, which also means, you got a Mizzou guy in Tom Hart. I love Tom. He's tremendous. You got a Stanford guy in KP, and then you got a Tennessee guy in Chris Burke. And Burke will do his best to be down the middle, but I don't think he can be down the middle when you played at that school. So we need at some point an Arkansas baseball guy to be on the SEC network and work his way up, kind of the way that Pat Bradley has with basketball, so that eventually we get a former Razorback calling postseason games. And right now there is nobody that's calling games that's a former Razorback. I think Scott Pose did for a while, but I don't know if he's doing that any longer. And the guy who I think would work would be James McCann once he's done playing, unless he wants to get into coaching, which I think would work for him, but he's got the personality. That's the thing. You got to have personality if you're going to be on TV. And these guys are really good. So maybe we have a little bit less of a listenership in terms of this weekend because these guys, different than the ones who were at Baum Walker for the regional, and I only know from people because they're emailing and texting and telling me that they have no idea why the beer hats are around or any of the traditions, and they're mispronouncing Norm DeBrine's last name. That won't happen this weekend. I mean, these are the SEC guys. They know the traditions. They know Dave Van Horn. They know Tony Vitello. They know them personally. And they know some fans, and they've been to Baum Walker. They won't have to ask any questions. You won't feel like they're kind of lost when it comes right down to it.
Both of these
really glad
coaches,
about that.
Both of these coaches are going to have documentaries made about them at some point. I think there was even one on Tony Vitello, just him winning the national championship last year. This is a huge matchup. If you're a baseball fan, obviously if you're an Arkansas fan, you know what this means. And Tennessee's, they know how good Arkansas is. I mean, their head coach that has won them a title came from the University of Arkansas. So it's just got all the makings of a great storyline.
Well, and I really think ESPN has a thing, first of all, for Tennessee, and second of all, for LSU. Tennessee, because, and I don't think it's because they won the national title last year. I think it's the antics. I think it's how they operate, because that draws eyes. Chipper Jones yesterday got on Twitter and is talking about watching the regionals and that he doesn't really appreciate the way that he didn't call anybody out, but I knew who he was referring to. He's talking about players that don't look like they're fully dressed, guys that taunt the opponent and all of that. And he's referring to Tennessee. He's referring to Georgia. Those are the two programs he's referring to. But Chipper says he don't want to watch it. I think plenty of people still do like to watch that kind of thing. Bubba, by the way, just texted. He says he'll do it. He'd be great getting on television. Well, that just means you have to leave the radio broadcast, Bubba, and you're doing that over my dead body. So good luck. I'm not going to find a new partner just because you feel like you've got the face made for television. You can get the facial hair made for radio, though. That's good. But I'm excited about these guys coming in here just because that means they have a feel for these teams. They have a feel for the league. It just only makes perfect sense. Let's see. You got text coming in here. Ross asked, "Do you think Tennessee hates us as much as we hate them? Do you think it's the players or the fans? Because there are no. If I think of two of the more online fan bases, I think of Arkansas and I think of Tennessee. So that's going to be. I think the hatred between these two programs is right there, and I think fans have a lot to do with it. And some of this may even still be left over from football season, because there is that one thing that Arkansas has over Tennessee from football season.
Well, I think the pressure, it feels like, is so high on Arkansas just because of, our fan base. We almost experienced it in 2018, and then, the passion that we feel, we don't want anyone to get in our way, and especially not Tennessee, Yeah,
but I think that I don't feel like that pressure, if they feel it didn't, to me, look like it affected them at all. Not in the last 3 weeks of the regular season, not in the regional, and maybe that's a reason why they didn't play so well in the one game in the SEC tournament. They felt no pressure. There was no pressure. There was no reason in your mind to go win that ball game other than just to win a baseball game. And I think Chuck brought this up on Chuck and Bo for one of the moments I was listening. I think he's right about this. I think you feel the pressure in a regional more than you do in a super, because there's that unknown, and you hadn't played ball much in about 2 weeks. And it's not like you go in automatically and there's no pressure to the super regional just because you won last weekend, but now you have it right there in front of you. We're fine. I don't think pressure is going to be a reason why one team wins and one team loses in this one.
I think when you're really good, like Arkansas is, that takes off some of the pressure.
Well, that's a matter of belief in yourself, right?
Yeah.
I think they believe in themselves. Yes. Why does somebody feel pressure? They feel pressure from the outside, or you put that pressure on yourself. You can deflect the pressure from the outside. You don't have to listen to those things. That does not have to affect you. But you can put pressure on yourself for the way you've performed, for the reason that you've gone to that school. And I think that's why sometimes we feel the moment's too big. It's nothing from the outside. It's how you feel about yourself. It's how you feel about your teammates. And I do think there have been some instances in previous years where there might not have been a lot of trust up and down the lineup, and not in terms of they didn't trust each other or didn't like each other. They just weren't sure if they could trust the guy on deck or the guy that's lower in the batting order to get the big hit. So when you feel pressure as a hitter, you swing out of the strike zone. You expand your strike zone. You swing at pitches that the pitcher wants you to swing at, instead of sticking to a plan, instead of knowing your strengths and accentuating each at-bat to that strength. Because if you don't trust the guy who's hitting 7th or 8th and you're hitting 4th or 5th, well, I got to do all the run producing. That's not what this team's about. Just look at Ryder Helfrich moving his way from 8th in the batting order to cleanup. Well, who was hitting after him when he was hitting 8th? Justin Thomas Jr. He's still hitting 8th, and he had one of the big home runs of the weekend. So I think that this is why Dave will talk about teams that believe in each other, teams that play for each other. Trust is an aspect of it in baseball. You wonder about teamwork in baseball because it's really just a series of individual battles within a teamwork context. But those individual battles, sometimes a pitcher versus hitter, have so much to do with trust of your teammates. The pitcher feeling trust to his catcher and the guys behind him to make plays. They don't feel they got to strike everybody out. Liam Doyle, I think, sometimes feels he's got to strike everybody out because Tennessee slumps a little bit in the field. I just think this team trusts each other. That's teamwork in baseball, and it's really difficult to quantify sometimes. Hey, if you got a squeaky door, if there's a broken remote opener, if there's a door off track, you just need a new door, call Grit Garage Doors. They're a local team that serves the River Valley in northwest Arkansas, Alma, Van Buren, Fort Smith, Mena, Springdale, Rogers, wherever. Grit Garage Doors is unlike the other guys. They're family-owned and operated. They also do not operate off commission. Just fair prices with exceptional value. Grit Garage Doors provides hands-on integrity and service with grit. John and his team offer a 15-year spring warranty. This is unheard of in the industry. No job too small or too big. It's Grit Garage Doors. 877-377-6963 is our number for the Lewis Automotive Hotline here on Halftime, and we're right back after the break.
Hogs are going to the Supers.
And the Rooster. Yep, he's strutting to the dugout.
Our exclusive coverage of the 2025 Fayetteville Super Regionals is brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agent Heath Roberts, ASU Mountain Home, and by First Star Bank.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in supporting growing communities. That's why we're committed to putting home ownership within reach. Whether it's your first home, a fixer-upper, or your forever home, we have a variety of loan options to help make your dream home a reality. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe. Equal housing lender.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Don't take less when you can have it all with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box full of craveable faves. The $7 Supreme box for your swankier side. And the $9 Cantina Lux box has a whole world of tasty indulgences, including the slow-roasted Cantina Chicken Burrito. Get Lux for less with the $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Roback's got the gear for your perfect summer days.
East Coast summers living on the run. Now the beachfront nights, 5,000 thunderstorms. Won't you kiss me, darling? Tell me that you're gonna stay. Yeah. Give me those East Coast summers, Maryland to Maine. Now the seaside.
Shop polos, hoodies, Q-zips, and much more in the American Summer Collection at Roback.com.
Roback made finding the perfect pair of pants or shorts much easier.
They're a clean fit with comfortable premium fabric. They look great on and off the golf course.
So shop at Rhoback.com for the Delta pants and shorts.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
Farms in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I don't do the national holiday thing every day, but I feel like today is worth bringing up because we can celebrate one of the truly great things about being a human being that eats food. Today is National Cheese Day. And if I were to take one thing that you are not going to take off of my diet, it is cheese. I could eat cheese morning, noon, and night. I could probably eat it when I'm asleep. I would try some of the more, I don't know if the word dangerous I'd throw in there, but interesting varieties of cheese. Apparently there are over 1,800 varieties of cheese. Do you have a favorite one, Matt Jones?
Oh, all of them. All of them. I'm with you. Horseradish cheddar. They got this at the little spot up there.
Absolutely.
Pepper jack. I mean, there's 40 blue cheese, goat cheese. I mean, there's so many. Just it's situational, like they say, right? Like, what are we eating? All right, I'll tell you what type of cheese I want.
Okay, so if you're going to eat every type of cheese, I would like to introduce you to a cheese.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that, like, what it's situational.
Well, let me introduce you to this. It's called Kazu Marzu. It actually is Sardinian, and it translates directly to the English rotten cheese. This is a Sardinian cheese made from sheep's milk that contains live insect larvae inside of it.
Andrew Zimmer, I've seen him eat it. The travel show, he's went over there, and I don't want that. No, I won't. I'm okay without that.
I saw a bit where Gordon Ramsay even tried this.
Good to see you. Hi, Gordon. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you? You look very healthy for a man that's beating maggots.
Right, no, actually, there's nothing scary about the maggots at all.
After the first time you tasted it, how long until you get a clean bill of health, until you pass from the doctor?
Well, I don't know, but I'll be coming back to you. I tell you, when my gut falls out one morning, the thing, I will come straight back to you. But the thing is, the long-term effects will not be known for a year.
Oh, really? A year?
Or something like that. Because they're going to start laying eggs, they're going to have a family, they're going to build a home.
Caused a lot of controversy, hasn't it?
Caused tons of controversy, but it is literally like caviar, a mix of caviar, fried white. It's a huge delicacy.
I'm going to taste it, yeah? Jose!
Oh, you've got
thank God.
You've got some.
Yeah. Jeez, right.
Get back, everyone.
Okay, go on.
Now, where are they? You see them here? He's desperately trying to bury back in.
Take a slice or a spoon?
Spoon. And this is the bit you want here. The maggots are in there. Let's go.
I was going to say, when you watch the video, you can see the maggots squirming around in the cheese.
What? Really? It's sour.
The aftertaste stays for hours. It sticks. It has a length. It goes over about 3 days.
I do not want to ever try a form of cheese where I am told that the aftertaste is sour and will last for hours and has legs.
Yep.
Legs are for wine. Legs are potentially for whiskey. Legs are not for cheese. because that means the cheese got up and walked away, and these are live larvae, so this cheese has legs. It could get up and walk away. I'm not going to try that either. I will try almost any other variety of cheese, even the stuff that smells like a hockey locker room or socks that haven't been washed in 3 weeks and worn during that time, but I will not eat cheese that has legs. They also don't put that in Taco Bell either. I see that the most popular cheese in America is mozzarella. I thought it was cheddar, but it's mozzarella because everybody eats pizza.
I kind of like the taste of Swiss cheese too.
You like the cheese with holes in it, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know why. That sweet taste is kind of intriguing to me.
A little buttery. That's right. Just a tiny little butter. Andy says Andrew Zimmerman threw up trying it, Matt. And it sounded to me like Gordon Ramsay was ready to puke too.
Well, I'm sure they got paid to do that. So we're talking about a different conversation.
That's a good point. Charlie says if we win the championship, we got to try that stuff. Nah, I'm not. I'm done. I'm done saying I'm going to eat something if something happens in a baseball game. That just never has to happen. And Seth's right. That's not cheese. It's compost. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. Send me your favorite cheese. Does cheesecake have real cheese? Or does cream cheese count? I guess cream cheese does count. It should. I had some last night. Perfect with a bagel, perfect with lox. Scott wonders, what do you pair that cheese with? Probably a bag of trash. I mean, whatever it is that the maggots eat. Some rotten fish. That probably pairs with it really well.
What kind of cheese do the Green Bay Packers use?
Well, that cheese has holes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just know it has holes, but I don't even know anything else about it. I don't even know.
The Munda cheese.
I guess it just has holes.
That's also a variety of cheese, Matt. I'm not trying. Exactly. We'll never try that one. See, JT says he loves Swiss. He hates baby Swiss. Be like, well, there's a totally different taste between the two. That's the only cheese I know that's got baby attached to it. There's no baby cheddar. There's no baby Havarti. There's only baby Swiss. Why do we have babies for just one kind of cheese here? Andy doesn't even think Velveeta counts. He says no to fake cheese. But that means you probably also have to take away most of your American cheese varieties because that's not real either. Velveeta counts.
But it's not. It's like half cheese, actually, is what I read.
50% and 50% will work for us, I think.
Yeah, barely.
It's also not going to make you throw up. Keep in mind, like this cheese with the maggots in it, this Kazu Marzu is real cheese. I would eat the fake cheese over that real cheese for certain. Brandon wonders who was sitting around one day and thought, maggots and cheese would make a perfect snack. Somebody, probably it was one of those snacks that came from an accident. You left the cheese out. They did this 1,500 years ago. You left the cheese out. We forgot to salt the thing. We didn't have refrigerators. You're not going to put it in an ice pack. You left the cheese out. Well, look at these things growing in there, too. Looks like caviar. You ever had caviar before? I don't know what caviar is. It's 500 BC. Well, just go ahead and take a bite, see if it's good. This bursting in my mouth really tastes good. Tastes like what I had for breakfast too. What'd you have for breakfast? Rotten fish. Pairs perfectly with it. Yeah, that's exactly what happened when they invented this cheese. Nobody ever thinks that maggots are like the right thing to eat, but there's probably a few out there that have given it a shot. 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Hotline. We're back in a moment. Wrap up hour number 2.
Don't you worry, son. It will all be over soon.
This is halftime.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new ultra matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
It's almost summertime. That means barbecues, graduations, weddings, and gathering with friends. Riverpoint Wine and Spirits has all your favorite party supplies. You'll love our clean, organized store, full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer. At Riverpoint, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. Your journey, our spirit. Riverpoint Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
At Wave Rural Connect, our mission's simple. improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it, like that. Ask your phone, group chat, smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time, no waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Evan Cohen here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
What? Can we smoke in here?
Yeah. Good time.
The good times are killing me.
Here we go.
Got your goddamn got water now. I know you can carry on. Shrugged off, short sighted, false assignment, and what can I say? Have one.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
Maybe a surprising firing in the NBA yesterday, Matt, with Tom Thibodeau let go by the New York Knicks after he had taken them to the Eastern Conference Finals.
First time since 2000.
4
I
years
believe
of
he never
improvement.
had a 4-game losing streak either.
I wonder why this happens. But this is the second time that Thibodeau's been fired after losing in an Eastern Conference Finals. His last year with the Bulls was also the same situation. I think in that case they were the favorites. I'm not sure if that was the case here. But the Bulls hired Vinny Del Negro. It wasn't like they fired Tibbs just to go get Vinny Del Negro. Does it feel like this is Jay Wright, maybe? Do you kick the tires on Jay Wright now?
I think it's the most coveted job in basketball. If you want to say L.A. Lakers, Boston Celtics, I mean, the New York Knicks is. I know they haven't won an NBA title in years, but it's the mecca for a reason. I mean, I think everything's open. Didn't Jay Wright have 3 of these kids at Villanova when they won a national championship?
I think so.
He's
Yeah.
been out long enough, and I think me and you were talking about this before the show. If he doesn't take this job, then he probably doesn't ever. He just doesn't want to coach again.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't think he's getting back into college at all. It would seem to me the NBA would be the next
They traded
step.
5 first-round picks to get Mikal Bridges. So we gotta look at kind of what your assets are, and I get it if you think you're going to be having a chance to win it, and you got the number 26 pick in the NBA draft. Nobody's taking a number 26 pick to thinking that they're going to build something with them. You know, you're just like, well, I guess we'll take this guy and see what happens. But there's only about 7 guys each year that are really NBA ready. NBA talented enough that you say these guys are going to be NBA players.
Right.
It's half and half when you're talking about hit or miss on guys in the first round of the NBA draft.
Who would have been the last Knick coach to have a sustained
Was Phil
run
Jackson there for a little bit?
Yeah. Was that? I think that was
Stan Van
after.
Gundy took him to a finals. Or no, his brother. It was Jeff that took him to the finals.
Just to me, it feels like New York, like the Knicks, are a kind of team that it would help if you are not a New York guy, but more like from like understanding what it's like to coach and the pressure of being in a city that lives and breathes basketball. I mean, Jay Wright, I know it's different, from a small school like Villanova, but Philadelphia is a big time basketball city, specifically a big time college basketball city. And you win one championship at Villanova, well, when's the next one coming? He ended up winning 3. You might be the right choice. It's just going from college to the pros is not always the right idea. But with, I guess, how's it been 2-3 years since his retirement? I would think that if you're ready, if the itch is there again and you're ready to scratch it, it could come 2 or 3 years afterwards. So, well, that's an interesting firing, just because they'd improved 4 years in a row. The players all said the right things about wanting him back when the season was over, and now they won't get him back.
580, so 579 winning percentage is the highest winning percentage by an NBA coach to not make it to a finals. So, the dude can coach.
Andy texted in about he gets fired because the owner's a nut. Now, that's the other aspect of taking the job with the Knicks. Dolan is a little bit fiery. He's not the right word. It's just to me, he seems like he might be a little difficult to work for.
How much of the GM stuff do you want? That's the thing. So they're going to pay you $1 million a year, and they're going to give you a $20 million buyout. So okay, let's go. I mean, $1 million a month. I'm sorry. But how much of the control is it? Kind of like watching Moneyball with Philip Seymour Hoffman's character when he's like, I want to put the team out there I want to put out there. Mm-hmm. Or is somebody saying these are the guys you go coach these guys, but you don't get any say in the guys you coach?
If I was a coach, I mean, in the NBA, it's such a smaller roster. I'd want some say in it at least. I don't know about like the overall say. That's such a big job too. But for small rosters, to me, I would at least want some kind of a say in that. And I don't know what the setup is with the Knicks. But if you're a college coach, I mean, you had the say. You had all of that say. Who's going to be on your team? You go to the NBA, and sometimes you don't get that decision-making.
Doesn't Giannis just feel like a New York Knick right now? I think he's the worldwide superstar, him and the Joker. Even Luka, but Giannis he's the Kobe Bryant right now. If you ask anybody around the world, Giannis is the number one name that they all know.
Hour number 3 includes a segment with Tennessee baseball radio play-by-play man John Wilkerson, about 20 minutes. So we're wide open for you right now at 877-377-6963. And we are right back.
Do you need closure?
on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their ham-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 70s north, mid 80s south. Chance of showers and scattered storms tonight, overnight low upper 60s. And then a 50-50 chance of showers and storms on Thursday, a high just over 80 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 87 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that can respect you. Oh, actually, if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. Rolling along. Halftime continues into hour number 3, 1 minute after 1 o'clock. We're doing some baseball conversation with John Wilkerson, the radio voice of the Tennessee baseball program for, I think it's been over 40 years now. He'll be joining us 15 minutes from now, and I was reminded a moment ago, Matt, from Chris on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. The last time we had a play-by-play man for Tennessee on the radio on the show, it was Bob Kessling. It was the week of the Arkansas-Tennessee game in October, And the last thing that was said on that interview, you said to Bob, take it easy on us. And they did. So I don't know.
I do remember that. I think I'll stay out of this one then. I'll just let you go for it because that might have been. It was a little tongue in cheek, just like when I was talking about LSU people not being smart. Of course, they're smart, just being a little cheeky. But it was. It ended up working. You always want to know how they answer that question. Do they answer that question with some humility, or do they act like, oh, we're gonna just wipe the seat with So it's it's interesting to see how people answer that question.
John is one of the most humble people you will ever come into contact with in your life. So there's no way he'd answer the question in a nasty way or really in any other way than just being humble. I love John; he's great, and that's a guy that I root for radio broadcasters in some cases. So I wasn't rooting for Tennessee last year, but John's been their radio guy since 1990. I mean, he's been around for some truly awful baseball seasons and loves that program and loves what he does. And so I celebrated the fact that he got a chance to call that moment. I felt the same way with Jim Ellis of Mississippi State, David Kellum with Ole Miss. I didn't want those teams to win championships before the Razorbacks do, but I know what it feels like to put your heart and soul into a program and live and die with every pitch. And I mean, those guys have been doing it for 40-some years, so I felt really good for them.
Be interested to know if he talked with Todd Helton when he came back over from the football team, and if Todd Helton knew then. Like, yeah, I think my career path. They got this guy named Peyton Manning. I think I'm just going to play baseball now.
Well, let's ask him about that when we get a chance. Right now, let's talk with Cecil. He's called us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. You can do the same, 877-377-6963. Cecil, how you doing?
I'm good, fellas. How y'all doing?
Really good, thank you.
I just wanted to say something about Thibodeau, man. He's a really good coach, man. I think New York may have a problem just getting a coach unless the coach is just really desperate for some money. Because, I mean, who want to move to New York or get a house outside of the city, and then you got to move 2 years later, and you got family and stuff like that? That's
I have a sense that the Knicks will pay their coach well enough to be able to get an apartment in Manhattan.
Yeah. I'm excited about the Thunder, man. I mean, I always thought I would be at a championship game. I've been to the Western Finals. The times that they went, I went. And then we had the finals against Miami. But they're going to win it. They're going to cover the spread. Like I told Matt yesterday, this is a big possible sweep. And I just see it like that.
A gentleman's sweep. Come on, Cecil.
Matt see it another way, though. But
I think it goes. Okay. I think it goes 7. I think it goes 7.
Okay, Matt. I think it'll go. No more than 5.
We'll go a cheeseburger on it, Cecil. If it goes 7, you owe me a cheeseburger. If it goes sweet, I owe you a cheeseburger.
Cecil, do you realize what Matt's doing here? He doesn't eat many cheeseburgers. It's like 1 per month. I think he's eaten 3 this year. If he's offering to put one of his cheeseburgers on the line for this year, that's huge.
Yeah, that's huge, ain't it? Matt, let's do this. Let's do this, Matt, and then I'm gonna hang up, okay? Let's do 5. I say they do it in 5.
So we're changing it though. Okay, so you okay? If you want to change it to that, then I'm in because it's you, Cecil. I got it. I love it.
Blue moon.
I like it.
A blue moon and a burger. These things work together very, very well. Cecil, you're the best. Thanks for calling. We'll look forward to your phone calls as the finals get started tomorrow. Always appreciate you.
We'll give Cecil 4, 5, and 6. How about that? And then I'll just take 7.
He said sweep, and then I think you convinced him of the gentleman's sweep.
No, I love it. I love it.
Okay, let's go to the phones again. And Kevin in Fort Smith on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Kevin, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. How are y'all?
Great, thank you.
I'm calling about something I've been curious about for a while. I'm hoping, I guess this would be more for Phil. What does the Razorbacks baseball team, what does their schedule look like this week? What do the coaches do as far as preparing them when they know who their opponent is for the weekend? Do they watch film on the other team, or do they just look at like black and white stats on a sheet? as to what a hitter likes and doesn't like on the other lineup and what the pitchers do, or do they actually watch film? What do they do during this week?
Every game is recorded. They'll look at the stat sheets. They're always interested in lefty-righty splits. Those things will matter a lot. They're going to pay attention to, who's got the walks and who has steal bases. But you really need to know how you pitch to somebody, how you scout a pitcher is by watching them. And so this is one of the great things about playing a team that you played, 3 weeks ago, is that you already did that. You already did that work. And so what you can go off of is how it went the first time around. That's my whole point of this series, is much more like it's what it's like in professional baseball, when routinely you play a team 3 or 4 games and then you'll play them again in 2 or 3 weeks. And, you got to make adjustments. That's what professional baseball is about. Everybody in pro ball, everybody in Major League Baseball has the talent to do something special, but it's a matter of if they can make the adjustments. Can you close that hole in your swing? Can you throw a different pitch on 2-2 to a batter that you threw the first time around when you got him out, and he's waiting for that pitch the next time? That's what makes this series different than any other super regional, and I think also why it's so entertaining. It's not just the power of the teams. It's not just the league they come from. This is the only super regional which is a rematch from this year, and that makes baseball what it is sometimes.
Yeah, these guys know each other, and it's going to be really interesting. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for calling in the question, Kevin. So I don't think anything changes this week. You don't have to scout 3 teams. You don't have to stay up until 2 a.m. to watch video on North Dakota State and then Creighton and then Kansas. You go off of what it is you just saw from them, and maybe watching how teams pitched to them in the regional this last weekend and what happened to them in the SEC tournament. But you're also going by what happened to you and them the first time around, which is fresh in your minds.
I think it helps them too, but also having just another day to rest your starter. I think that goes a long way too. How you set the tone is how. I assume Zach Root is going to pitch game 1. How he pitches is he's going to set the tone for the series.
He will.
You want an extra day if you can get it.
And it's good to be home so that you don't have to worry about the routine of travel and the added 6 to 7 hours in one day that takes. It really is all right out there in front of them. It's a team that you played recently, that you beat 2 out of 3, that you look better than on the field. And I just, you probably don't have to spend those late nights that you did the week before. So it's all really good reasons here. It's a really good question too. But to me, that's why I don't like the comparisons between AA baseball or AAA baseball and SEC baseball. It's not fair because it's a different sport. When you play somebody 3 times a year and that's it, it's a heck of a lot different than when you play the same team or you face a pitcher. Let's put it in different terms here. A batter will face a pitcher at the very most 3 or 4 times a season in college baseball. Never mind the other pitchers on the same team. You'll face that pitcher. You'll face Liam Doyle once a year, and you get 3, maybe 4 at-bats against him. And you're playing pro ball. You're going to end up with 20 at-bats, sometimes 25 at-bats against the same pitcher in the season. So that's the chess match we talk about. There's that major difference between the two sports. College baseball is not as much of the mental chess match as professional baseball is because you just don't have to make as many adjustments. You might have to make an adjustment through a game itself, but you don't face that team 2 weeks from then. So you're then at that point facing a team that's just thinking about you in a different way because they haven't faced you yet. And the talent level and all of that, I think there's more depth in AA pitching staff than there are in college pitching staffs. There's sometimes more high-end talent on college teams, but that also means there's more low-end talent on college teams. So we could end up doing 4 hours on that. 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Hotline. I want to remind you about 46 Steakhouse. Adam and Brooke Daly serving up tradition at 46 Steakhouse with every bite. hand-cut steaks, including their massive 46-ounce ribeye, juicy chicken, and hand-breaded catfish. Every meal comes with those famous hot-made rolls and honey butter. You're just never going to stop talking about it. 46 Steakhouse. You're always going to feel right at home at 108 Highway 71 next to Harps in Alma. 46 Steakhouse. Every meal is a masterpiece. We talk with Tennessee baseball radio play-by-play man John Wilkerson right after the break.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee. The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. Favorite Hog memory growing up, Cecil?
When we beat OU in the Orange Bowl in 1978, I was living in Allen Grove Projects, and it was a shutout at halftime, and I ran out of the house. I ran from one end of the projects to the other end screaming, "Go Hogs." I'll never forget that. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Brought to you by the Capital One Saver Card. With Saver, you earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, and at grocery stores. That's unlimited cash back on ordering takeout from home or unlimited cash back on tickets to concerts and games. So grab a bite, grab a seat, and earn unlimited 3% cash back with the Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job. Software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Got a special guest on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. His longtime play-by-play radio man for Tennessee baseball, John Wilkerson. Of course, will be on the call on the Volunteer Radio Network this weekend for the Fayetteville Super Regional. John, it was great to see you a few weeks ago in Fayetteville, and I kind of had a sense that we may see you guys again. I thought it might happen in Omaha. Where it's going to happen this weekend instead to get to Omaha. How are you?
Doing well. Sure do appreciate the invitation, and without a doubt, it's a shame this happens in the super regional round because I think you've got two teams that are both very capable of making it to Omaha, but, you know, the path is the path, and we'll see what happens.
John, how long have you been calling Tennessee games?
This is my 35th season with the program.
So you're going back to 1990. That's was Delmonico the coach in 90?
It was Rod's second season. It was 2 years before Todd Helton's freshman year. That was my first year with the program. Mike Keith, who went on to become the voice of the Titans and now has returned to Big Orange Country as the new voice of the Vols with Bob Kessling's retirement. He was the primary voice for Tennessee baseball when I started being a part of the broadcast, and then when he moved on to Nashville, that's when I got to slide into the air chair, and it has been an incredible experience. And of course, with being reigning national champs, that was something that you couldn't help but think was possible, but such a dream come true. It has been really a just phenomenal run with Tony Vitello leading the way.
Yeah, Tony did not invent Tennessee baseball. He just took it to a level it had never been before, which is a national championship team, and also being probably be looked at over these last 5 years as the premier program in the country. But Rod Delmonico had something going there for a while. 3 trips to Omaha, one of only 2 Hall of Famers that's ever played in the SEC. Helton's one of them. Frank Thomas is the other. So what happened in the time between Rod Delmonico and Tony Vitello? Because Tennessee baseball fell off tremendously, and I don't know if it ever really should fall off the way that it did.
Yeah, it was something. It was a shame for Rod's run to end the way it did. Rod thought for sure that he thought he had nailed down an NCAA tournament spot because in that SEC tournament beat Vanderbilt right out of the chute, and but they wound up, the selection committee took Memphis instead of Tennessee, and then there was a row that kind of bubbled to the surface between him and the athletic director, and so after his time at the helm, he had 699 wins, and he was not retained, and they went Mike Hamilton was the athletics director. He had pegged Bruce Pearl as a wonderful hire to breathe new life in Tennessee basketball, and he thought he could go out and get the next Bruce Pearl, but of baseball. So he hired Todd Raleigh, who had done some incredible things at Western Carolina, and it just didn't click for Coach. That's Cal Raleigh's father, who Cal is one of the best home run hitters and the best catcher or so
Mariners
in the majors right now. But so Todd unfortunately didn't work for him, and then Dave Serrano, who had been an assistant with Rod, he was at Cal State Fullerton and had led programs at Irvine, and as well as taking over the Titans to the College World Series. And so he came back to Knoxville, and I think it was just that was at the time that the powers that be, you had to have power arms, you had to have power bats, and Tennessee just didn't get enough of it across the board in Dave's 6 years at the helm. And so when it was the time for John Curry, the athletic director then, he took a good look around, talked to some baseball folks, and said if you could hire anybody to lead your program that was an up-and-comer, who would it be? and it was on Dave Van Horn's staff, and that was Tony Vitello. And it has been incredible since then, but there were 10 long years between Rod's last year and Tony's first year that there were a lot of rough seasons.
Can you point to a couple of reasons why Tony has been able to resurrect Tennessee baseball in the way that he has? Because you're just mentioning two really good baseball coaches there that couldn't pull it off. This is an incredibly difficult league to try to build up from the bottom. I mean, we see that in football too. I think we see that in baseball too, specifically right now with Missouri. But I think Tennessee puts more resources into baseball by far than Missouri did. What is it about Tony that was able to get this program to where it is now?
From the time that they put the orange blazer on his back, he's had a vision. He knew exactly what he wanted to do when he got the chance to run his own program. And I do think just consistency and continuity has been a huge part of what has been the growth and the success. Because not only did he have the image of the program that he wanted, but, I mean, Josh Elander has been here for every year. Frank Anderson, the pitching coach, has been here every year. You've got Ross Kivett, who's been here for all but 3 years. He makes a return to the staff this year. And Quentin Eberhardt, their strength coach, he wanted to hire Frank Anderson. He wanted to hire Quentin Eberhardt. Those were his two most important hires, he said, when he got the job. And, of course, we know he's an outstanding recruiter. So he's been able to foster those relationships, get guys to Knoxville, and really just the development for players has been off the charts. And so he's had wave after wave of guys. I mean, his first year, Tennessee's expected to win 7. I mean, actually the number was right around 6.5. They had won 7 SEC games the year before. They were supposed to go less than that in 2018. And lo and behold, if Tennessee can win the series at Missouri, they're on their way to the SEC tournament. They won 12 conference games his first year. His second year, they make their first trip, their return trip to the NCAA tournament since 2005 with Luke Hochevar and company. So I think, again, he's had a plan, he's stuck to it, and it's worked. It's been everything that I think he had envisioned for the program, and now, of course, with the fact that they are the reigning champs, you're finding out the win indeed blows hardest at the top of the flagpole. But again, I just think continuity with staff, approach, the way that they recruit, how hard they recruit, all of that, I think, has been the building blocks and the foundation where Tennessee baseball is today.
What does his emotion have to do with it? Because I saw this the 3 years he was the hitting coach at Arkansas that I was doing radio, and I had a difficult time pairing up the Tony that I knew off the field with the guy that you see on the field, who is as emotional as I've ever seen any coach at any level. And he's just not that way off the field. He's quiet sometimes. I mean, incredibly intelligent, a lot of fun to talk to, but not the same guy on the field. He's not the only competitor that's been like that. But I just wonder, because this Tennessee baseball program in these last 5-6 years, John, I feel has reflected that intensity and emotion. Sometimes it might bubble over a little bit too much. And you could say the same thing for Tony in some cases. But it must have taken a little bit of time to be able to balance getting to know Tony off the field and how you know him there, and then watching what he can be like during the games.
Yeah, I'll never forget. It's the first weekend 2018, and it just so happens that he is making his debut as Tennessee's head coach, and the team in the other dugout is Rob Vaughn, Alabama's head coach, when he started at Maryland. And the first time that there was a question and call, and I mean, it was a dead sprint from the home plate side of Tennessee's dugout, screaming out to first base to get to the umpire, and, I mean, just got right after it. And now that was something, because after the initial heat of the moment was past, there was just a brief second, and then the first base umpire went over to him and kind of, you could tell, was saying, you can come on out, you can question it, just don't do it like that ever again. And so I think that there has been, there is a lot of emotion, and at the same time, what he preaches to his players, that he wants guys that are emotional, but don't let them get the better of you during the course of a game. And it's much easier said than done. But I do think that there's passion there, and I think there is the desire and the object to win each and every time out. That's something that he holds. The focus is there for games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, same as it is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's just you need to make sure that you focus on what you can do to win the game in front of you and then go from there. But yes, it is without question. I do think that it has gone down a complete notch in terms of hair on fire to really, something that's just smoldering. So it doesn't take much for it to get to a point where it can be not necessarily a full-blown eruption, but I do think that a lot of his players follow his lead in that regard, and I do think he is trying to be not necessarily a kinder, gentler head coach, but I do think that he is somebody who does a much better job of managing just how hot that fire burns, because it can be something that can get in the way, whether it be if you get ejected in a second time, of course, you missed a game and things like that. So there is, as you mentioned, a very stark contrast between the player, the individual, and the personality off the field versus how it goes when it's game time.
Interesting. I feel like, and I think maybe the reason, if I were to just think for Tony for a moment, is you don't want your emotions to put your team in a difficult position, specifically by getting ejected and then being suspended. And I think, the situation with Cannon Peebles is exactly that. And a lot of questions have come in during the show today if there could be an edge for Arkansas in game one because there's a redshirt freshman, I think it's Stone Lawless, that will catch. And you know that relationship between pitching staffs and catchers are just so amazingly important. And it's nothing against Stone Lawless. I'm sure he's an amazingly talented kid. It's just he hasn't caught a lot of these pitchers in games that he's going to be catching on Saturday. And if you could tell us a little bit about him.
Well, Stone, he is, as you mentioned, a redshirt freshman from Huntsville, Alabama. He's one of those guys that played a number of sports. He was a really good quarterback for his high school before he decided to focus purely on baseball. And he's somebody who was with the team every step of the way last year. And he never got to play in a game, but he was the bullpen catcher essentially, and he would be the guy that would warm up pitchers getting ready to go in the game. So he handled guys like Marcus Phillips, as well as all the staff, and whether they were getting ready for whatever relief appearance. So I do think that he has, and he's very familiar with every single pitcher and he was also, first half of the SEC schedule, he was kind of the Saturday catcher. Game one would be Cannon, game two would be Stone, and then go back to Peebles for game three. So I do think that he's a very capable receiver, and I do think he's very familiar with who he would be catching in game one. But yeah, without a doubt, for the last month and a half, it's been Cannon Peebles catching every Southeastern Conference or big-time game with the regional. And so I think that is something to circle. And it's one of those situations to where there's so much jawing that's going on back and forth that, as Coach Vitello spoke to during his post-game press conference, that it wasn't anything that Cannon said that hadn't been said by either dugout in the direction of the other. It's just that he wasn't aware whether or not the home plate umpire had told the two catchers, one at the plate, one behind it, to cool it. And then there was, as the Wake Forest catcher celebrated the strikeout, as he should, that's when Cannon had a retort. That was what led to the ejection. And he said it's something you can't let happen, and because exactly what the situation is, that Tennessee will go into game one on Saturday with Stone Lawless catching. Not that he can't handle it. It's just that Cannon Peebles has been a rock for Tennessee behind the plate now for almost 2 months.
If I were to think of the main strength for Tennessee, it's a bit of the same strength of Arkansas. They can overpower you at times in terms of power at the plate, velocity on the pitcher's mound. It's like these teams, they may play the game a little bit differently, but they do mirror each other somewhat in their strengths. But where I do see some separation is consistency in the field specifically. And I think that played out in the regular season matchup too, John.
It did. And that has been really when you got off to an okay start. I mean, when Tennessee had defensive lapses, they were in a position at the points in time to where, as you're talking about with the lineup, they had either run production and or strong outings on the mound that picked up the defense. There was just a bobble when we got to week 2 of SEC play. That's when Gavin Keelan, who was at second, Dean Curley playing short as he did all of last year, and Keelan got hurt. And so then it was kind of a rotating, is it going to be Ariel Antigua, who himself is a sophomore? He's probably the best defender that Tennessee has as an individual, but unfortunately for Ariel, he hadn't had enough reps at the plate to where he is a consistent, productive part of a lineup. So then they started moving Manny Marin, who's really found a home at third now. He played some at second. He played some at short. Curley moved over to third. There were issues in terms of that Friday night game for Tennessee at LSU where they give up 6 unearned runs in the bottom of the ninth, and LSU goes from trailing 3-0 to walking it off 6-3. So I think since Gavin Keelan got back in the lineup, which he missed 3 whole weeks of SEC play, they've kind of put him at short, and they've got Marin at third and Dean Curley at second, which is exactly what the lineup was when Tennessee went to Fayetteville just a couple of weeks ago. But yes, this has been the least consistent team. This has been the poorest fielding team that Tony Vitello has had as the head coach at Tennessee, and at times it can be something where you can see exactly what the player was thinking about doing. It's just that it's been a failure to execute, a failure to play catch, or to be able to consistently get a strong throw to right base. So I think that is, to me, the biggest separator between these two teams is that just looking at exactly how, first of all, you guys are in the outfield, especially. I love your third baseman. I think he's just magnificent with how hard he plays. I mean, when he went head first into the tarp at the first series,
he was going to break his neck, John.
Pops right back up. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't help but think that. So I do think that is a significant that's a significant check in Arkansas's favor. But Tennessee has played a better brand. I mean, with the season on the line, Tennessee played a crisp and perfect game defensively against Wake Forest, and here's hoping that everybody can just realize that you can't think about where you've struggled in the past. It's all about playing the very best you can and focus on being able to get the out that's in front of you.
Well, John, I know you're like me. This will be the 5th Super Regional in a row that you're calling. You've been to Omaha 3 of the last 5 years. You never take these kind of events for granted. And I always appreciate you making time for us, and always enjoy visiting you when you're in Palm or if we're at Lindsey Nelson. And I'll look forward to seeing you this series Saturday. Thanks for coming on today.
Absolutely, and it is. I mean, strength against strength. Tennessee's never lost a Super Regional on the road, and Arkansas has won 4 out of the 5 that they've hosted. So I think this is going to be the marquee matchup for this upcoming round, and I can't wait to see how it plays out.
It's John Wilkerson on the call for the Tennessee Radio Network, and he's been there since 1990. Thanks, John. We'll break here in a moment. First, need to remind you about if you've just had lunch, if you need something that's sweet and delicious, and I know you're craving that right now, Andy's Frozen Custard is somewhere close to you right now if you're in our listening audience. Andy's Frozen Custard is in Northwest Arkansas, Fort Smith, Conway, North Little Rock. They have the greatest frozen treats around. And, hey, take home a pick 6 for baseball this weekend. That's 6 of your favorite flavors. Perfect game time treat for your friends or family. Andy's Frozen Custard. Walk up or drive through. They're ready to serve. Our Lewis Automotive hotline is 877-377-6963. And we are right back in the home stretch after this.
Hogs are going to the Supers.
And the Rooster. Yep, he's strutting to the dugout.
Our exclusive coverage of the 2025 Fayetteville Super Regionals is brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agent Heath Roberts, ASU Mountain Home, and by First Star Bank.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Empower.
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hear that? That's the sound of perfection at 46 Steakhouse in Alma. When you're craving a perfectly prepared hand-cut steak, 46 Steakhouse delivers a big flavor with every bite. Every meal starts with their famous hot rolls with honey butter. From burgers and sandwiches to steakhouse salads, there's something for everyone. 46 Steakhouse, located at 108 Highway 71 next to Harps in Alma. 46 Steakhouse, where every meal is a masterpiece.
Superior Siding and Windows have been improving homes in Fort Smith and the River Valley for over 44 years. Whether your need is siding, vinyl windows, doors, or gutters, Superior Siding is the one to call if you want it done right the first time. Call 479-646-7888 for a free estimate. 100% financing is available, and Superior Siding has AAA rating with Better Business Bureau. Superior Siding, your first call, 479-646-7888.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Is your business's IT infrastructure secure? At Dixie Digital, we provide comprehensive managed IT services to ensure your systems are running smoothly and your data is protected. Combine that with Xerox, Brother, and Epson reliable printers and copiers, and you've got everything you need for success. Call us today at 783-6600 to learn more about our IT services and special offers. Dixie Digital Imaging, your trusted partner for IT and document management.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle over right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Sunday, June 15th is Father's Day, and Jelco Outdoors has hundreds of gifts for those special dads. Special in-store deals on knives by Case, Benchmade, Kershaw, and more. Keep Dad cool with a new cooler by Yeti and Yukon Outfitters. Select hunting and fishing clothing on sale now. New rods, reels, and compound bows would make Dad's Day really special. And Jelco gift cards are always a perfect fit. Jelco Outdoors, your Father's Day gift store. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Stay down, hold tight, 'cause you know I've been around. Stay down, hold tight, 'cause I wanna be with you.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Women's College World Series starts tonight, 7 o'clock, ESPN, 12-seed Texas Tech, 6-seed Texas. Do you see about this pitcher for Texas Tech, Najari Kennedy? transferred from Stanford to Texas Tech. She's not just a pitcher, she's also a
dominant
hitter. She makes $1 million in NIL this year for softball and has thrown every single pitch for Texas Tech in the last 5 games they've played. All 3 games in Oklahoma City, and both of their wins against Mississippi State in the Super Regional. That's just flooring. She's thrown 362 consecutive pitches for the Red Raiders. But I only think one of those days was back-to-back, which would have been the Super Regional, because the Women's College World Series is like the men's in the way it's constructed, only in the idea that if you stay in the winner's bracket, you get built-in off days. So they don't have an off day when it comes to the finals. Starts today, game 2's tomorrow, Friday's a third game potentially, so I'd assume that they need some other pitchers maybe tomorrow, but that's just amazing. She has thrown all but 35 of 45 innings for Texas Tech in the NCAA softball tournament. That's Kevin Kopp's like.
Can you imagine if you in baseball your best pitcher could do that? I mean, it'd be the same, same thing, but
it's physically impossible.
I know, because it's bad on your arm to throw overhand compared to underhand. But
that's the kind of pitching development that Keith Law is just drooling over in order to write about. I would really like also to insert a rule into the House settlement that's coming up soon that Keith Law is not allowed to write about college baseball at all. He writes for, I think it's The Athletic now, used to be ESPN, and he loves to go in on college coaches for the supposed overusing of pitchers. And I look, that has been a thing previously, and he's gone in on Dave Van Horn for Kevin Kopps from 2021. He still wants to go in on Dave Van Horn. They don't overuse pitchers at Arkansas. The Kevin Kopps thing also was a one-off thing. I hadn't seen anybody used like that in any time that I've been the broadcaster at Arkansas. And I mean, then there's, you could point to Charlie Boyce, but Boyce also, he advocated to go do that because he realized he wasn't going to be a professional pitcher. Not every pitcher in college ball is going to be a professional pitcher. They're not all of them are going to make the minor leagues or make some dream league or whatever. So I would lay, and the other aspect of Keith Law is that when he goes in on these coaches, he's just nasty about things, and it's really kind of annoying. I like about half of what he writes about, but if it comes to college baseball, I'm really not interested in it. So let's throw that part away. But you can't do that for a college pitcher. 362 pitches, it's impossible. What you can do is use a reliever 3 games in a row in Omaha if you stay in the winner's bracket. You can do that. You're just not going to have them throw 110 pitches like this Najari Kennedy might over a 7-inning game. And it's just a different arm. It's just a different arm motion.
But even other softball players, like what she's doing is unheard of, even compared to the other softball players.
And she's doing it with a bum hamstring. Like I think it's her left hamstring has been sore. If it was her right hamstring, because that would be her push-off leg, she wouldn't be able to pitch. So she's doing this injured. She's doing this while also hitting, and not hitting very much, but she does serve a part in their lineup. And that's literally willing a team to a championship series.
But when you're that good, man, it's a nice thing to have. Having your ace go every game, that gives you a chance every game. But they don't come around often. Not like that.
It's just a different motion. I guess if you were Dan Quisenberry or you were Kent TeCulvey or Mark Eichhorn, the submarining sidearmers, Chad Bradford, the knuckle dragger, maybe you could, but none of those guys are starters. There are no sidearmers that are starters. Submarine pitchers are not starting pitchers because they're dominant on one side and susceptible to get hit by the other side of the plate. If you're a right-handed sidearm guy, my bet is you're really not very good against lefties. So there are no starting pitchers that throw submarine or sidearm. So they're never going to have anybody that does anything like that. It's like a Kent TeCulvey. He threw, over 100 games in a year? Mike Marshall did the same thing, but Mike Marshall, this was an interesting cat. He had, I think he had a physics degree and figured out ways to pitch overhand that wouldn't put pressure on your arm in a way that most other pitchers did. So I think he might still hold the record for games appeared in a year. He was a reliever for the Dodgers in the 70s. and he might have thrown in 120 games. Or I think he threw over 100 games. If you throw over 100 of 162 games in a baseball season, my guess is you were either a side armor or a submariner, or you stole somebody else's arm and installed it on your right shoulder at the halfway point of the season. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. I don't know if it would hurt to bowl 362 times over a 5-day stretch. That's the same arm motion, but we're not talking about a baseball. We're talking about something that's 13 or 14 pounds.
Bowled last time I went, bowled 3 games. The third one I bowled left-handed and still broke 100. So that was
You're able to break 100 with your left hand?
Oh yeah.
I would be knocking over pins in the other lanes with my left hand.
Does your arm have to recover after playing in a football game, just throwing the ball that many times, or does it?
Yeah, my arm's broken from playing in a football game. It's,
Wow.
It never recovered.
Well, I mean, just like the throwing motion. Like
there's so many these pitchers. They're doing a little something unnatural more than a football. Football is a little more natural. Baseball, it's really. I mean, you got to pop it there, but you're getting rubbed down. You're getting stretched. You're getting emu oil. You're getting ice. You're getting electrocute. You're getting there's so many things you're getting that they're taking care of your body. So yeah, I mean it's just part of it.
We had a texter out of the 479 here, Matt, that reminded me that Mike Marshall threw a screwball. The screwball would be the pitch that you'd think this is going to ruin your arm. I mean, that's basically why Fernando Valenzuela had to change his style of pitching, because he was a screwball guy for years. The screwball is a pitch that if you're a righty breaks in to a right-hander, so you got to pronate your wrist inward. And it looks inhuman to try to throw this pitch. And this guy was able to throw it and also get in over 100 games.
I won't ever have a son, but if I did, I would teach him how to throw a knuckleball from an early age. Get him throwing a knuckle, and if he's 6'5", 6'6", throwing a knuckle and then being able to have a fastball and changeup.
Yep, you get a good changeup. Fastball, changeup, go from there. 877-377-6963 if you want to get one last thing in with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. We're back in a moment to wrap up the show.
He beat me. Straight up. Pay him. Pay that man his money.
This is halftime.
Sunday, June 15th is Father's Day, and Jelco Outdoors has hundreds of gifts for those special dads. Special in-store deals on Knights by Case, Benchmade, Kershaw, and more. Keep Dad cool with a new cooler by Yeti and Yukon Outfitters. Select hunting and fishing clothing on sale now. New rods, reels, and compound bows would make Dad's Day really special. And Jelco gift cards are always a perfect fit. Jelco Outdoors, your Father's Day gift store. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
We all make plans for the future, like car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires. Don't disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
Is your DIY website killing your business and robbing your time? Modular Orange specializes in building professional custom websites for service businesses just like yours for just $95 a month. That's right, a high-performance website for only $95 a month with no upfront costs. There's a reason lawyers, dentists, accountants, counselors, plumbers, electricians, and more all trust Modular Orange to build their online presence. Take your time back to focus on what you do best. Let the professionals at Modular Orange handle your website. Visit modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com.
April showers bring May flowers, which brings, June heat. Remember the June heat with the air you can wear? Mike Blaylock with Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning. We offer the highest efficiency home comfort system on the market today with the York Affinity Series. So for all your high efficiency heating and cooling needs, plumbing and drain cleaning, get a red truck rolling your way today. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning in York. Give us a call at 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-551-3241. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-551-3241. That's 800-551-3241. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle over right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
There's no combination of words I could put on the back of a postcard. No song that I could sing, but I can try for your heart. Our dreams, and they are made out of real things, like a shoebox of photographs with sepia tone loving. Love is the answer, at least, for most of the questions in my heart. Why are we here and where do we go, and how come it's so hard? It's not always easy, and sometimes life can be deceiving. I'll tell you one thing, it's always better when we're together.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Well, good stuff today. This was an enjoyable show. It's also, Matt, it's a heck of a lot more fun doing a radio show when I
need
can
to meet your
focus
doctor
on the show instead of doing this with a bad back and not being able to focus on anything.
I could hear it in your voice this morning. It's just good to have you back.
It's not good. It's like I woke up yesterday. You ever wake up and you think to yourself, if I make the wrong move, I'm not going to get off the floor. And then an hour after that, it exactly happens. I hate those self-fulfilling prophecies, but I don't feel like that, right? It is a little weird, though, because I get this steroid shot in my butt, and I can still feel the strain. I know where the strain is located in the lower back. I just don't feel pain from it. So I guess I'm the running back that took the cortisone shot before the big playoff game, Matt. Now all I can do is maybe go out and hurt myself worse.
Are you afraid to stretch now? Because now you're like, well, if I feel it, but I feel better, or, now would be a time to get you 3 10-minute stretch sessions in a day, space them out, a few hours apart.
I got the physical therapy lined up for tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
that's right. Because I'm going to make sure that I'm in tip-top shape for this baseball super regional starting on Saturday. I've always had the problem. My thing, I always was nervous because I had nosebleed problems up until about 7-8 years ago that I was going to have nosebleeds on the air, and it's happened twice. And talking like this on a baseball broadcast is not very fun. Now the thing I'm worried about is that my back's going to go out and I'm not going to be able to move and I'm going to be on the floor and I can't see the game. So as we get older and older, Matt, some of these concerns end up changing and getting a little bit weirder. But
just stay away from the White Castle.
So that's right. Stay away from the White Castle and stay away from sleeping weird and stay away from lifting anything. That's why I got a 12-year-old boy. Actually, he's 13-year-old boy that's on the couch right now that'll be lifting some laundry and putting away all of the clean clothes and putting away all of the clean dishes. The stuff that I would usually do, but now I can claim injury. Thank you very much. Great stuff today.
Fun show,
yeah, that was fun. It was really fun. Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast will have the highlights of the show, which includes our talk with Grant Hall and with John Wilkerson, Tennessee's radio play-by-play man for baseball. Tomorrow is a great Thursday with Dudley Dawson, Bubba Carpenter, and Brett Dolan, heavy on the baseball talk. And, of course, tomorrow is also the start of the NBA Finals. So we'll get into that as well. Ruskin and Zach are coming up in just a few minutes. Stay for them. For Matt and Christian, I'm Phil. Thanks for tuning in for halftime today. Now get up, get out, and get better.
Hey, everyone. Braden